Throughout my time here on YouTube, I've spent countless hours searching for dark, obscure content from all across the web. And out of all my morbid findings, only about 1% of them have—
Usually these videos can have some sensitive subject matter. Trigger warning, these videos have sensitive subject matter. Even though like I'm someone who like is super like sensitive in terms of like feeling and like being empathetic or sympathetic towards other people, or like I can be someone who's like feels too much. I feel like these type of dark videos, I still like them though, even though they like kind of hit me in like a sensitive way. I don't know. I like watching these for some reason.
Throughout my time here on YouTube, I've spent countless hours searching for dark, obscure content from all across the web. And out of all my morbid findings, only about 1% of them have actually been turned into videos. This happens for a few reasons, like some of the material being just too disturbing or too graphic to talk about. But mainly, it's because a lot of these topics I found don't really warrant a full video, at least not on my channel. So rather than just holding on to these topics forever, I decided to start a new series here and share with you all the chilling internet content that I've compiled throughout the years and will continue to compile for years to come. So join me in this new venture as we dive into the internet's darkest corners.
The darkest corners.
Before we dive into this, I have to give a huge shout out to our amazing sponsor, Shudder. Shudder is the ultimate
moment.
In the end, you'll decide the ultimate winner. And some things you just shouldn't see.
It's been over 15 years since the premiere of the now hit show America's Got Talent, a competition program centered around finding the top entertainers in the country. But despite the show's huge popularity, I was surprised that I hadn't heard about its upcoming spin-off, which was set to air fairly soon. The show is called AGT Extreme, which focuses—
I actually remember there was a show called Daredevil. Is that the show that he's actually talking about?
Daredevil acts. A premise that has subsequently caused a bit of a stir online, as having a competition focused on extreme stunts means that people will take things further and further to win, which would lead to their performances getting riskier and riskier over time, pushing the envelope and heightening the danger. With this in mind, many critics have called out the show for how dangerous it could become, and as it turns out, even before the first episode has made it to air, these critics may have already been proven right. On the 15th of October 2021, TMZ would publish an article outlining an incident that had recently happened on the set of the show. The accident supposedly involved 41-year-old
he looks like Johnny Sins,
a man who had performed on AGT before, where he attempted other life-threatening challenges, all of which had gone off without a hitch, but this time was different.
I think it's just because he's bald.
Jonathan Goodwin, a Daredevil stuntman on the new America's Got Talent Extreme, suffered brutal injuries after a stunt he attempted went horribly wrong, and it was so bad, people on set thought he was dead. The article would then go on to explain the stunt that Jonathan had attempted to perform and how exactly it all went wrong.
How would I not know him?
Goodwin was suspended 70 feet in the air in a straitjacket, hanging by his feet from a wire. 2 cars were suspended on either side of him, swinging back and forth. The stunt forced Goodwin to free himself from the restraints, and then fall on an air mattress and avoid getting crushed by the cars as they swung in the air. Then something went horribly wrong, and the cars smashed together, sandwiching Goodwin in between them. The impact caused the cars to explode, erupting in a gigantic fireball. Goodwin fell to the ground and hit his head. The article then mentions that Jonathan's exact condition—
That's why the show ended?
weren't known, but that his injuries had been incredibly severe, having to be airlifted to a nearby trauma unit. The scene described sounded absolutely crazy, as the stunt Goodwin had performed sounded unlike anything I've ever seen before. And following the release of the story, curious readers wanted to know more, as they wondered whether the ordeal was filmed, and if that footage would ever get released. But according to the article, this had happened on the day of rehearsal, meaning that there was no live studio audience.
Are you fucking kidding me? You mean to tell me you're gonna do these life-threatening stunts and not have anyone record it?
Cameras potentially weren't even rolling. And even if the show had been filming, it seemed highly unlikely that they would ever choose to release this footage. However, as it turns out, during the whole event, another camera had actually
had to
been
be
recording
there.
on set that day, which just so happened to capture the entire thing. It's unclear who was behind the camera, though many believe that it was
I need the
likely a
captions,
staff
actually.
member who had pulled out their phone to film
Aw,
the act.
hell nah.
And somewhat unsurprisingly, just days after the initial report,
Imagine rehearsing. Well, I feel like recording your rehearsals are always good anyways, like to see what you can improve on. I don't know, I think that's a normal thing. Like I like to record when I was rehearsing for gymnastics and track, I always recorded myself.
this very video would emerge, quickly spreading to practically every social media site across the internet.
Just don't help it. Well, what the hell is that guy gonna do? Stop the freaking
The cars are then seen colliding together with extreme force, as Goodwin is pinned between them. At that exact moment, the pyrotechnics
Oh my
in both
God.
vehicles go off, causing a massive explosion.
Holy.
Jonathan would then collapse 40 feet to the ground below, falling headfirst. The video is horrifying,
How the hell did this guy
and it's easy to
live?
understand why people on set thought Goodwin had perished, as every time I watched the clip, I couldn't imagine how anyone could survive such a devastating incident. But shockingly, Goodwin would actually regain consciousness that very day, and despite
Are you
suffering
kidding
serious
me?
injuries like 2 broken legs and burns throughout his body, he doesn't
So not only he got smashed between two cars, the cars fucking exploded, and then he fell onto his head from like however much feet he was above. And this guy still lived with non-critical life-threatening injuries. This guy is Superman.
appear to be in critical condition anymore, as he's even taken to his Instagram page
What?
to let his fans know that he's going to be okay. And though his road to a full recovery is clearly
Oh
going
my
to be
God.
difficult, it's still amazing to see him alive and in such good spirits. Following the news breaking on this story and the video finding its way around the internet, America's Got Talent has halted production on the show, and it's currently unclear where they will go from here.
Jesus.
Though if they do decide to carry on with its production, I personally find it likely that this won't be the last
I
time
wonder if
we
he
see
like
an accident
regrets
like this.
any of that though. I feel like he's someone that understands the risk and always takes the risk no matter what, because like that's what he loves to do. I wonder if he thinks back on that incident a lot.
Our next story takes us to an obscure Reddit post made back in September of 2020. The story was told on the Legal Advice subreddit, as the original poster,
Legal Advice
or OP,
subreddit.
was seeking help on a situation
Always seek your legal advice on Reddit, chat.
transpiring with their neighbor. OP described the situation as follows. I live in a duplex with my husband and my son, who is only a few months old.
Thank you,
My
Nardo.
father-in-law owns half of the duplex and is renting to us, and the other half is owned by an older woman and her adult daughter. My father-in-law has known the woman for over 15 years and told us before we moved in that the daughter was mentally ill and had strong delusions on occasion that caused trouble with the previous tenants.
Oh goodness.
The last
hell
tenants
no.
apparently had to get a civil anti-harassment order placed against the daughter, but eventually moved out when the behaviors never stopped. Apparently, the neighbor accused them of kidnapping and abusing their children, as well as abusing their dogs. My husband and I brought our son home a few months ago, and we didn't have any issues with the neighbor until about 2 weeks ago. She has begun banging on and throwing things at the walls when our son cries. She screams at us as well, but I usually can't hear what she's
Oh, hell
actually
no.
saying.
You need to get the hell out of
over
there.
the screaming baby, and the 2 dogs going absolutely ballistic because of the banging. It's absolute chaos, and it made my postpartum anxiety so much worse.
no.
Every time the baby cries, I experience intense panic, waiting for the screaming and the banging to start. We have called the non-emergency police line twice when I can't handle it anymore and I feel close to a meltdown. And the first time they talked to her and she stopped doing it as often, maybe once every 2 days. Tonight she is back and it is worse than ever. The air quality is so bad right now from the fires that I can't let the dogs out for long to stop them from barking. And the barking makes the baby cry harder, which makes the neighbors scream and pound on the walls harder. The officer I spoke with says that we can try to get a civil anti-
You got postpartum depression. You got dogs going crazy. You got a crazy neighbor that's threatening your life. Your baby's always crying. Oh my God, that's just bruh.
Harassment order placed, but he knew for a fact that her behaviors never stopped after the last tenants had tried that, and he says his unofficial advice would be to live somewhere else. Is that seriously my only option? We can't afford to move, but I can't keep living like this. The post was met with minimal engagement, as many glossed over the story, not thinking much of it, and those who did respond seemed to have a mixed reaction. Some actually sympathized with their neighbor, as sharing a wall with a screaming baby would obviously not be a fun situation, and especially
how
for
do you
someone
even
with a
control
mental
that,
illness
though?
who seems to react negatively to loud stimuli.
What?
While others found the neighbor's response to be fairly worrisome, as it was clear that the behavior had been escalating. But whichever side these comments
how the hell you're gonna get mad at the baby for crying? Like,
took,
that's
they
just
all
what
seemed
babies
to be
do.
in agreement on one thing, that there wasn't much OP could do, other than simply move out. And with that, the post quickly faded into obscurity with no resolution to be found, quickly being lost in the endless content of Reddit. But surprisingly, the story wouldn't end there. In fact, nearly 7 months later, an update would be made, thrusting what was once an unknown story into the limelight. OP's post read, "Update. Neighbor bangs on shared duplex wall when baby cries." My first post never got much attention, but the outcome was pretty wild. In October of 2020, my husband and I were renting a duplex where my father-in-law owned the half we lived in. We brought our son home from the NICU in August, and towards the end of September, the neighbor, 40-year-old female, started to pound on the shared wall if she could hear him cry. The pounding escalated over the next 2 months. The neighbor bought a megaphone to yell through the wall and threatened to rip us apart.
Oh my God.
She called us child predators, and she'd yell obscenities and threats until 3 or 4 in the morning. The police were called multiple times, but they responded that nothing could be done about it. One officer said, "I'm going to kill you. See, it doesn't mean anything if I don't actually do it."
What? What the fuck? Please send that officer to jail. What the hell? I swear, the police don't do anything.
The elderly mother hadn't been seen in several months, but requests for wellness checks were brushed off. The general advice I got was that as renters we couldn't do anything. It was also suggested that this was reasonable behavior, since the baby crying was probably really annoying. Since my first post, we moved in with my grandmother for our safety. The neighbor ended up busting a softball-sized hole through the shared wall to scream at us, and occasionally just stare at us. The smell that came from that hole was indescribably bad. Our security cameras recorded her coming to my son's nursery window at around 2 a.m. almost daily, just staring and holding her cat.
What the
It took until the end of January for police to finally be able to enter her property. The elderly mother had been deceased since at least June.
What?
The daughter had the corpse dressed in her Sunday best, rotting in a dead-bolted bedroom. The news article said that the mother died from natural causes. The daughter was taken to an inpatient psychiatric facility. The update came entirely...
I could never live in a duplex because I know for a fact that I would be loud as fuck if I ever lived in a shared complex or like a shared... Yeah, no, there would probably be something going on.
Out of left field. Yet this lady's timeline made perfect sense, as the daughter's behavior likely escalated not just because of the new child, but also because of the loss of her mother. And without her mother to care for her and keep her in check, it allowed her actions to go way off the deep end, as by the end, she had clearly become completely delusional. However, this is Reddit, and with Reddit comes a slew of fake stories designed to go viral, which alone caused many to instantly write this whole situation off as a hoax. But digging deeper, this doesn't actually seem to be the case, as some would find
I kind of believe it because like remember that one case with what's that one girl's name where her mom would tell her that she was like really sick and really ill, and her mom would feed her like poison to make her daughter like really sick, and then like the daughter would go to like all these different like doctor appointments and like would get like medicated for things that she doesn't actually have. Gypsy Rose, right. Like I believe like this is totally possible. Isn't there a movie about that? There is. Yeah, Gypsy Rose. And then like she found out that her mother was actually like tricking her the whole time, and then she like I think she actually killed her mother in the end. Or her like boyfriend at the time helped her kill her mother.
This article is outlining a virtually identical situation. On the evening of January 29th, a welfare check was conducted at the home of 65-year-old Cynthia Newman. The lady had not been seen in months, and it wouldn't take long for police to figure out why. One article wrote, "The body of Cynthia Newman, 65, was found in a reclining chair with a pillow under her head and body. She was covered in blankets in an attempt to cover the body from sight. Newman's body was covered with insects and showed significant signs of decay, including exposed bone and places where skin was starting to peel off.
Oh, hell
It also
nah.
appeared that animals living in the house had started to gnaw at the corpse. Also within the home
I could
was
never be a like I don't even know what you would call them, like a first responder or like someone who does like autopsies, and then they have to like do an autopsy and perform that on already rotted or like decaying corpse. Like, oh my god, I could
Cynthia's daughter, 41-year-old Jacqueline Bebout, who had been living with the corpse for over 7 months, never reporting it to authorities as she, quote, didn't want to be alone. According to the articles written on this, Cynthia had died due to
didn't want to be
alone.
alone. So she lived with a rotting corpse for 7 months.
According to the articles written on this, Cynthia had died due to natural causes, though her daughter would still wind up being arrested on charges of failing to report human remains, with her sentence landing her in a mental health facility. But hearing this story side by side with these two threads, well, it all adds up, right down to the month that she claimed it happened, leaving me without a shadow of a doubt that this was in fact real. And as I read OP's post once more, it becomes clear that the strong stench that she was smelling was the smell of a decaying body.
Oh god.
And with this context, what started as just an obscure, forgotten post on Reddit has now shifted into one of its more twisted threads.
Twisted
When
threads.
someone dies, it means they're not alive anymore.
Why is Elmo
Reddit is
here?
home to a lot of disturbing content, and it's here that we find another thread, with this one requiring no context for its darkness to be understood. The post was made to Ask Reddit, where a user asks
Ask Reddit.
Redditors who know
You know,
how much
I have never posted on Reddit before, and I literally to this day do not know how Reddit works. I've tried to know how to work Reddit, but I just don't know how, guys.
time they have left. How does your day look like? The post proceeded to go viral almost instantly, as hundreds of people flocked to tell their stories, with all of the top results coming from those who actually suffered from some type of terminal illness. One user wrote, ALS, rapidly progressing. Every day I get worse. Couldn't get my shirt on today.
What
Not
is
really enough
ALS?
strength and energy to eat, though I am being yelled at for losing weight. No pain, for which I am thankful, but unable to do most things we take for granted. I have T-Rex arms now,
Lou
probably won't
Gehrig's
be able to walk
disease.
or stand in the next few weeks. I am working hard to get the prescription for death with dignity. This is not how I want to live. I think I'll be lucky to make it to Christmas, more
degenerative
like early
nerve
November
disease.
at this rate. I don't want to live like this anymore.
Oh.
Another says, my days are a mixed bag. Some days I don't want to get out of bed, and when I do, I can't seem to find the energy to leave the house. I have tumors all over my spine, so when things go really bad
Oh
for
my
me, my legs will
goodness.
probably be the first to go. This is my time, and it took me a lot of dying before I could take a deep breath and let go of the stress of living. Sometimes the best thing you can do is crack a beer and watch some TV and not feel guilty about it. It's easy to feel like you absolutely need to make each day count, but if I'm happy, I'm happy.
That's how I feel sometimes though, like trying to make each day count or trying to make each day feel like it was worth it.
The examples go on from there, as so many users have come together to share their experiences, and it's interesting to see how all of their answers differ. With some, they preach positivity, and somehow through it all they have found their inner peace, while others, well, are clearly struggling to come to terms with what will soon happen to them. With most feeling guilty for what they have put their families through, and what their families will soon go through once they're gone. It's all just horribly depressing, and unfortunately, it's far worse than I described. As I've left out one devastating note.
What?
With that being that this thread is actually over 5 years old, and those accounts that had shared their stories, both good and bad, have now fallen silent, leaving the accounts responsible for practically all of the top stories in this thread abandoned, with no updates in years.
Oh.
This thread is no longer a group of people sharing what their last days will look like. It's showing what their last days did look like, as it appears that the vast majority of them are no longer with us, succumbing to the fate that they knew was around the corner,
That is
leaving
so
this
sad.
as, in my opinion, one of the most painful threads I've ever scrolled through.
I'm fucking crying. I'm fucking crying. That shit, what? You mean to tell me there's just a thread of people sharing their last moments together? I can't. It's not a... Yep, spending, you know, the end of the year, fucking crying. Man.
Till you see New York from our point of view. Spend the sunset on top of the world.
It's rare to see so many people know how their future is going to turn out and the fate that lies ahead. But most of the time, the future turns out to be far more surprising than you can ever imagine. Which leads us to a website called airliners.net, where 21 years ago, a group of users began a discussion centered around an impossible situation. But for just a brief moment in time...
Oh my god, that reminds me, sorry, this is unrelated, but that reminds me, so I saw that there was a plane, I think just last night or just yesterday, that had 181 passengers on it, and it had crashed in an airport in, I believe, Korea, and only 2 people of 181 passengers had survived. And the reason of the crash was, 1, the landing gear malfunctioned. 2, apparently they got the airplane got hit by a bird strike while they were trying to land as well. So not only like their landing gear malfunctioned, they got hit by or the bird, I guess a bird like had, I guess, got hit in like the engine or something. I don't even know. Something. It was like, it's a crazy situation right now. And I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know that, well, I mean, I always knew it was possible for like a plane to hit a bird, but I didn't know it could be that devastating where a bird can take out an engine of the airplane. And that made me do a little bit of like digging around and searching. And apparently pilots are trained to anticipate situations like this, or learn how to maneuver when situations like this happen, or to be extra vigilant when there's at certain altitudes in the air to avoid hitting a bird or a flock of birds. If it obscures the front window, you lose sight. If they hit the propellers, you might lose those too. Yeah, I didn't know it could be that devastating. So like now that's just a new fear of mine that I'll have to think of when I go on these when I go like traveling that like I could possibly, my plane could possibly get hit by a bird. Like I never thought of it like that.
They pondered it, with the subject line reading, "If a 707 hit the World Trade Center." A user named MD90 starts the discussion by saying, when the two towers that made up the World Trade Center were built, they were designed to withstand the impact of the largest airliner of the day, the Boeing 707 Intercontinental. The Empire State Building survived a B-25 medium bomber crashing into it on a very foggy day. It was during the weekend when most people weren't there, but still, 14 people died. Anyone want to bet that the World Trade Center could survive a 767 impact? This post was met with the response, "Let's not try that, okay? One terror attempt was enough." From there, others chime in, with one adamantly saying, "My bet is no way. Just imagine a fully loaded airliner the size of a 707 slamming into any building. Think about it." And the discussion carried on from there. One person wrote a rather lengthy, well-thought-out response saying, if a 707 or a 757 slammed into the World Trade Center, it might be much more damaging than the case of the B-25 bomber that crashed into the Empire State Building. It is very doubtful any passengers or crew would have survived such a grim scenario. Also, there are probably more people per floor in the World Trade Center compared to the Empire State Building, so casualties in the building will likely be much higher. Another user responds by saying the structure itself would survive, as the buildings are surrounded by other buildings, and thus only a hit could take place high up on the structure, meaning not at or really near ground level. If it could somehow—
So did this guy just freaking manifest what happened?
Penetrate and hit the base, that would take it out completely, but a hit 500 or 600 feet up most likely wouldn't take out the whole thing. Within this thread was even an employee who had been working at the World Trade Center at the time, who chimed in stating, I am working in downtown New York at the World Trade Center, and when someone is in the observation deck of the World Trade Center, you see planes approaching the LaGuardia Airport, not far away from the building. Sometimes you think that the plane is coming to hit the building.
Oh my
and I
God.
always think,
I don't even know why I never thought, because I've never visited New York and I don't know much about, like, I guess the World Trade Center, right? But I didn't even know that there is an airport nearby. I didn't even think of it like that.
Pilot crashes a plane on us. The conversation eventually leads to someone saying, the scenario is really hellish. I think the flight disaster record, Tenerife, 1977, 582 dead, might get reset by a lot. You would easily have 1,500 or more, since you would have 200 in the plane, at least 500 in the building, and a real shitload on the ground. If the building managed to fall, there might be 5,000 or 6,000 dead. Oh well, that's why they put AC lights on the buildings.
What are AC
This
lights?
was the final message written in that thread. A thread based around a impossible situation. A situation that could only live in one's imagination.
Well,
or at least at the time it was. Not even 1 year following this thread, 2 Boeing 67 planes would crash into the World Trade Center, forever changing the course of world history. The same planes that user MD90 had referred to when saying, anyone want to bet that the World Trade Center could survive a 767 impact? And as it turns out, it couldn't.
oh my God.
As part of my channel, I have a tendency to focus in on disturbing videos and channels. But recently, I've fallen down the rabbit hole of another form of media, photographs, and specifically vinyl photographs, the last pictures taken in a person's life. And across the web, there are millions of examples of this.
Oh my God, this reminds me of that Netflix show that I watched, or not show, but it's a movie about the Zodiac. Is it the Zodiac killer? I don't even remember what serial killer he was, but it was based off a true story. And the guy would like date these girls, or like he would go after these girls and like he would like take pictures of them, and then after he like is done taking pictures with them, he would murder them.
The supply waiting in the future. As
Roni Ronnie Alcala. That guy. Yeah, Ronnie Alcala.
At some point, everyone will have their final picture taken, including you and I, whether we know it at the time or not. Many of the examples we can find today are heartbreaking or even inconspicuous, while others, well, are much more disturbing. On
Why
April
do you feed
18th,
your own fears like that?
2021,
Because if I feed my own fears, then I'll be as safe as I could possibly be. If I am always scared, then I'm always wary and I'm always aware of my surroundings, which in turn makes me safe.
a torrential rainstorm began to wreak havoc in Houston, Texas, along with many surrounding areas. The rain fell in excess of 24 inches within just a single day, flooding the
paranoia.
streets and many of the waterways nearby, leading to roads being completely covered with feet of rushing water. And unfortunately for 21-year-old Darren Mitchell, he would be caught directly in its crossfire. After attempting to
You know what's
make
crazy? Actually, there was recently like a typhoon or a flood that happened to Philippines, which happens actually pretty often. But after it hit, after the Philippines, there was a lot of places that flooded, and there afterwards, like the aftermath, there was just a bunch of videos on like Twitter and TikTok and Instagram of like people in the Philippines just like playing in the flooded water and like making music videos in the flooded water. I'm just like, only the Philippines could do something like that. They just always make the situation funny for some reason.
make his way home on Highway 105, the floodwaters quickly overtook the road around him, to the point that it was impossible for the car to move any longer, leaving Darren stranded in his vehicle at the mercy of the raging water that was rising quickly. And given the conditions of that road in particular, well, he knew rescue would likely be a long ways away. Before Darren knew it, the water had made it all the way up to the top of his car as it
Thank you,
slowly
Mayhem, for
began
the tier
trickling in
3.
through the
Thank you.
crevices. Growing increasingly helpless, Darren decided to call up his family just to tell him that he loved them, while also mentioning that he had managed to make it out of his car and that he believed he was going to be safe. Though sadly, this wasn't actually the case, as just minutes later, he would use his phone to snap this
Thank you,
picture.
Finn. Thank you.
He would then post the shot to Facebook with the caption, "And all I wanted to do was go home."
Oh.
Moments later, worried onlookers would witness Darren's truck begin to roll before flipping over completely and disappearing into the raging water. Darren's body would be recovered days later,
Jesus
leaving him as
Christ.
one of the 5 victims to fall to this deadly flood. Another chilling final photograph comes from an
He
ex-couple
could have tried to
who had
get
been
out, to
partaking
be honest, if he knew what to do. But like, if he had tried to, wouldn't he still got like brushed away from the current though? Like, if he were to get out of his car or like break out of his car, like the raging waters would have eventually swept him away, right?
on a hiking trip in the Alabama countryside. 18-year-old Jolie Callan and her boyfriend Lauren Bunner had been separated for some time, but the two decided to head out on one last hike as a chance for them to come to terms with
Oh my God. This actually reminds me of a horror story that I had so one time I went hiking with one of my friends, and so we were hiking in the mountains because we wanted to see this waterfall, which is like a popular spot. But we went during the time where it was like, we didn't know that it was going to rain, and like the weather didn't say it was going to rain, but like it was during a week where it was kind of rainy, but that day it wasn't forecasted to rain, but then it ended up raining anyways. So we were in the forest and we were already halfway done with the hike. And it started drizzling. I was like, oh God, surely it doesn't rain like that much. But then as we were going, it started raining more and more. And the ground kept getting muddier and muddier and slipperier and slipperier. And we were already like 80% on the way. We were 80% on the way, and we weren't going to turn back now. And then it started fully fucking raining. And so we were sometimes when you're hiking through a mountain, sometimes you have to go through like small ledges where there's like a drop off and like you know, but we were going through this like small ledge so that we could get to the waterfall. And when we got to the waterfall, it was like really bad because like the waterfall was like hella violent, and like we wanted to swim there, but like by the time we got there, it was already like super, like obviously not safe to like do anything. So we were just like watching it a little bit. And then as we were trying to get back, I started feeling the air get heavier, because I guess like for some reason when like it's raining, like it's harder to breathe in like the forest. Like it was already hard to breathe in the forest anyways, but like it started raining. It was getting hard to breathe, and like I was like starting to get like a panic attack. And so like I couldn't continue forward, so I had to like sit down. But I was scared that like if it kept raining, that like eventually like a mudslide would happen and we would like fall and like die. But I was so scared that I couldn't continue on, that like I would faint and had to get like a helicopter or some kind of like rescue to save us. But we didn't have any internet there either, so our phone services were all down. Like we didn't have any service, so like even if we had to resort to that, we wouldn't have be able to call for help. So we would just be stuck there. And there was no one there either. There was like no one on that hike for some reason, even though it's a popular spot. There was no one hiking there. But I was scared. I thought I was going to die.
The end of their relationship and hopefully start a new and civil friendship. By this time, Jolie had moved on with someone new and was all set to start college, but she wanted to remove any ill feelings with Lauren as she began this new chapter in her life. Together, the pair traveled up the mountains in Chia State Park, where Bunner would chronicle the entire day on his Instagram page. He posted photos of Jolie walking her dog, as well as just taking in the gorgeous scenery around them, with this shot proving to be incredibly stunning, as it shows just how vast the woods were that surrounded them. Bunner would snap this picture before quickly posting it to Instagram as a way to cherish this memory. His last
Super
memory
Idol, this so wrong.
Just
the
memory,
Super Idol.
His last memory with Jolie. Just moments after taking the picture, Bunner would put his phone down and pull out a handgun that he had concealed in his pocket.
Oh my god, I remember
this
story.
He would then fire one shot in the back of Jolie's head
I remember
before
the
flipping
story.
her around and shooting her once more to seal the deal. He then dragged her body to the edge of the cliff that she was seen here looking over before pushing her off.
I remember
was
this was like
that day after
all
turning
over
himself
social
in,
media
as
when
it was
happened.
clearly an attack done out of jealous rage, as he took exception to the fact that Jolie was moving on with her life, leaving him in the past. And it's likely that in this very moment,
choosing
Jolie
the bear.
had no idea the fate that she was about to meet, and the plans that Lauren had for her that afternoon.
Yep, bear.
But of all the final photographs that I've found recently, there's one that I find especially chilling, as it just leaves so much to the imagination. On June 6th, 2020, a group of friends had gathered at Frayant County.
Did you know, guys, that statistically your romantic partner is the one most likely to kill you? Oh my god. Did you know that apparently like if you're in a relationship, right, and your partner like jokingly jokingly chokes you out, or like jokingly like stabs you, like does like stabbing motions, they're like 10 times more likely to be someone who actually physically abuses you in your life. Like it's actually insane that like the most horrible person in your life could possibly be your partner.
Park to celebrate 46-year-old Biba Henry's birthday. As night started to fall and the party had begun to die down, Biba and her sister Nicole Smallman decided to stick around the park and continue the celebration, partying into the early morning hours. The two played music, danced, and waved around fairy lights, enjoying the day as if it was their last. And wanting to document the festivities, the ladies would set up one of their phones and begin photographing themselves. The phone was connected to a clicker that the girls would use to snap over 100 pictures, documenting their night in this dark wooded area. The pictures were a little grainy, and many of which were hard to make out, but it seemed as though the two were having a great time. Or at least they had been, until this final photograph. It is incredibly blurry and difficult to make anything out, but the context behind it is highly disturbing. Just comparing it to the photograph taken right beforehand, it appears as though both subjects had been posing for a photo before quickly turning to their left at the same time,
Stop
almost
picking
as if
bad
something off
partners.
camera had caught their attention.
I feel like you
and even
can't
startled
just
them.
say that though. You don't know if your partner is gonna be bad in your relationship. Like it just happens over time. Like when you date someone or when you're like dating someone, you don't always know the full them. You don't always know everything about them. It takes years for everything to unravel about this person. So you can't just say like, "Oh yeah, just choose a better partner. Stop picking bad partners." That's just like that's so insensitive to the people out there who have been like abused by their partners.
You can see Nicole Smallman looking to her left, and the body of Biba Henry turning that way as well. But besides that, nothing else can really be made out, which makes it all the more bizarre once it's revealed that this would be their last photograph, as the two would be found hours later, having suffered over 30 stab wounds, with their bodies being hidden
Jesus
under nearby
Christ.
brush. The two women had been brutally murdered. Following a lengthy investigation, it would eventually be determined that the two had been attacked that morning by 19-year-old Daniel Hassan, and his motive was incredibly bizarre, as he believed that he had made a deal with the devil, who had
Oh my
told him that if
God.
he sacrificed 6 people every 6 months, then he would one day
Every
win the
6
Powerball
months?
jackpot. Daniel
What?
truly believed that the only thing standing in the way of him and millions of dollars was the sacrifice of 6 people. And so that's exactly what he tried to do. On the afternoon of Biba Henry's birthday, Daniel had seen their group in the park celebrating, and when the crowd dispersed to just 2 people, he decided it would be the perfect chance to perform his sacrifice.
Oh,
It was
my
this moment,
God.
this final photograph of the two seemingly noticing something on their left, that they would see their killer for the first time, as Daniel had just emerged from the woods, standing just barely out of frame, before he began his attack.
Jesus
In the year and a half
Christ.
since this
Wait,
photo, before he began his attack.
Oh.
In the year and a half since this photo was taken, Daniel has since been convicted of both murders and is set to serve a minimum of 35 years in prison, though I think it's likely that he will remain
35? What?
behind bars for life. And though the story is quite obviously a tragic one,
He
we
needs
can
multiple life sentences, actually.
at least find some comfort in the fact that Daniel will no longer be able to carry out the remainder of his sacrifices.
Jesus Christ.
The internet never ceases to amaze me with its disturbing content, as every day new twisted stories are being uncovered. So if this is a series you would like to see more of, then please let me know, as there truly is so much more to dive into.
That is crazy. A minimum 35. No, it should be a minimum like 5 life sentences. Jesus. Nick made a new video about 2 weeks ago. Let's see. Bring out the cat videos. No, I like these. These are so interesting to watch. I love watching these. I don't know why. These are so interesting. They're like really creepy and like, ooh, like the fact that they're real. It's just so intriguing. Yuzu is on her serial killer podcast arc. No, I'm not. It's just, guys, I watched a video earlier today. I was like, you know what? Instead of playing a game today, I'm gonna watch some creepy crime videos or like creepy internet videos. I don't know, guys. There's just something wrong with me. There is something wrong. It's like my morbid curiosity. It's like that little itch in your brain that's getting scratched when you just like curious about something and it's like hitting in the right spot. There's just something about true crime that
430
interests my
million.
brain, you know? Literally. Okay, this is not the same person, but this guy's Nexpo, and he's gonna be talking about the dark side of Reddit.
The
Oh, my bad.
amount of monthly active Reddit users worldwide as of December of 2019. A figure of this magnitude has effectively cemented the site as one of the most widely used of all time. And with that
What is
comes an
actually
incomprehensible melting pot.
what is the highest number of people or what is the platform with the highest number of people on it? I would think Facebook, right? Is Facebook is the highest social media platform right now? Oh, is it YouTube? Because I feel like Facebook has like all of the boomers on it, and like some of the younger people are on it too.
Of post topics spanning nearly anything you could think of. As with anything, however, there is a dark side. The shrouded corner of the websites harboring the strangest mysteries, stories, and true crime cases.
Google says
It's
it's
safe
Facebook.
to say that I've sunk an embarrassing
Oh.
amount of my life reading threads in this category. But hey, I guess that just happens
Facebook
when you're
has
fascinated by
3
something.
billion people.
What
Jesus.
can you do? Welcome back to Chronicles of Reddit, an anthology series dedicated to diving into the less disturbing and more odd part of Reddit that you might overlook in your day-to-day reading. This is Volume 2, so if you missed the
In
pilot
Philippines, we
episode,
still
be
use
sure to check that
Facebook.
out when you're finished with this one. Without further ado, get comfy, because tonight, we're taking a dive into
Get
3 more
comfy.
bizarre discoveries that have weirded me out. From Reddit.
From Reddit. Get comfy, guys. Cozy. Reddit horror. Gone missing.
First up, RBI.
Reddit
A hub
Bureau
for
of
investigative minds to
Investigation. Got
congregate
it.
and tackle real
Got
world
it.
problems. On July 31st of 2020, a Redditor by the name of Soothe BB would reach out to the community in a plea for help in
Got
finding
it.
their coworker. Their post reads the following. On
Reddit
Wednesday, July
detectives.
22nd, a coworker of mine abruptly up and left work before the end of his shift and hasn't been seen since. 1 week later, a text message is received from him containing only these 3 photos. Does anybody recognize the location shown in these photos?
Oh, hell nah.
I work at a lab that makes prescription eyeglasses in Northern Ohio. Last week, Wednesday, about 6 hours into our 10-hour shift, a coworker of mine got up from his station in a hurry, left his bag of personal belongings at his desk, and walked out the door and didn't return.
Okay,
No one's seen
door
him since.
opening audio.
Some of my other coworkers thought he was just sick of the long hours and decided to quit. But that doesn't make sense why he'd leave behind his personal belongings and not say anything. We tried calling him that same night, but his phone would just ring until it went to voicemail, and by the next morning his phone was turned off. My boss said he got a hold of his mom and that she hasn't seen or heard from him, but didn't seem too concerned, as she said he had a history of living somewhat of a nomadic lifestyle in his past. She thinks he may
I
have
like
relapsed
this
and owed
guy's
someone money
voice.
or just ran off with some girl. Apparently they aren't very close and don't have the best relationship. I know he had a history of drug abuse, but from everything I've gathered in the 2 years that I've worked with him, he cleaned his life up after an arrest in 2014 or 2015 for drug possession and had been clean since. He always acted normal around me and seemed to be living a productive life. On the subject
It's always
of
the
the picture,
ones that seem normal. It's always the ones that are extremely normal.
a couple days ago after work, I received a group text message that was sent to me, 2 of my other coworkers, and 6 other numbers I don't recognize. It was from him and contained the 3 pictures I linked. No text. I tried calling and it rang once, then went to voicemail.
It's
When I called again,
it's a
it
good
went
thing
straight
we're
to
all
voicemail.
weird as fuck,
This
isn't
whole
it,
thing's got
chat?
me feeling very uneasy, and I don't know what to think. Does anybody here recognize the location of where these photos might have been taken? As stated, below this was a link to an Imgur album containing the photos,
Imgur.
which are as follows.
Okay, immersion. I'm on my phone right now. Bitch. Oh, hell no. Why would he upload that? X marks the spot. Bitch, take clearer photos. What is wrong with you?
Alright, so we've got 3 images in strange locations with very apparent motion distortion. It appears that whoever was taking them must have been trying to shoot him on the fly, and very likely could have been attempting to be discreet about it. Camera flash aside. Now, I know the first thing that probably comes to mind here
discreet
is the
camouflage.
potential of EXIF data being embedded within these photos, and considering the fact that it provides critical information, including the GPS location, extracting this from the image and tracking his friend down should be pretty easy peasy, right? Wrong. Unfortunately, a few others have noticed this and suggested looking into it. However, the OP's attempts at doing so didn't bring up anything usable. On top of this, not only were the images that were uploaded to the album on Imgur not the original photos from the camera that shot them, but the websites and potentially the messaging app they both used more than likely stripped the EXIF data from the files, effectively rendering this angle of attack to be useless. A couple hours after this thread was made, a Redditor named vtyuzu would inquire on if the police were notified, to which Sooth responded, saying, "That's what my boss contacted his mom about. She said she was gonna give it some time before doing anything like that because she's absolutely convinced he's fine and just left on his own accord. Her lack of concern is kinda mind-blowing, to be honest. If my kid up and left leaving behind a bag of personal possessions, I'd contact the police ASAP. We talked about calling the police ourselves, but my boss ultimately said it wasn't our place since we aren't kin, and that should be left to his family."
What?
Not sure about you, but this
Is that not? Can you
seems
not? I thought you could call like wellness checks on people. Even
a
what?
bit off. I don't doubt Sooth's claims here. However, leaving only his mother with the sole authority to file a missing persons report or contact the police seems a bit odd to me. Personally, if a friend or coworker of mine were to up and vanish after leaving all their personal belongings behind
It's
like
also a
they've done,
legal concern
red
for the
flags would
company
be
as
going off
well.
everywhere. If I were
Yeah, a
them,
bunch of red
I'd be filing a
flags.
report regardless. Anyway, in the sea of speculation and theories under this post, 2 users, Maxilla the Destroyer and Mashed Potatoes, would present nearly identical
Mashed
theories that stand out among the
potatoes.
others.
His
For
boss
brevity,
killed him.
We'll just take a look at the one from Mash. My phone has a feature where if I hit the lock button 3 times really fast, it'll send a series of 3 photos to whatever contacts I've approved. The phone I just got will send 3 from the front camera, 3 from the back, and I think a couple of seconds of audio recording. It's for
Wait.
emergency situations. My old phone would send just 3 from the front-facing camera. Is that
That's huge though. What kind of phone is that? That is so good. Wait, is that even a feature on iPhone? Like, what is that? That is smart as frick.
possible this is what's happening? Now this is a
Samsung
contender
has
I'm willing
that.
to get behind, considering the fact that Sooth and a few others all received these
Well,
3
I need to
photos
grab
on
a
tandem.
Samsung phone.
If we assume that their coworker utilized this SOS feature potentially built into their smartphone, then it leaves the door open to just 2 options. Either they're completely fine and did this by accident, or they were or are legitimately in trouble and needed help. But
That's such a
then again,
smart
that brings us straight
feature.
back to the root of this mystery.
You've accidentally sent
Regardless of what happened,
emergency
Sooth
SOS features
unfortunately never
so many
followed up
times.
with an
Ooh.
update on if they ever returned, if a report was eventually filed, or if they ever got into contact with them, leaving the door on this conundrum wide open for speculation. If you or anyone you know recognizes these spots from Northern Ohio, drop a comment.
Wait,
It's
so
a
the
long
guy's
shot,
just
but
missing?
perhaps we can help Sooth put their newfound dilemma to bed while helping to bring their friend home.
He's still missing? This guy's just gone. Damn. Didn't even find him. Great job. Great job, Reddit. What was the subreddit called again?
And you know this cannot. If a
Good job, Reddit Bureau of Investigation.
report was even for Northern Ohio, put
You did it. You solved the case. Apparently on iPhone, you go to settings, accessibility, touch, back tap, then you can set to triple tap and and action to do. Oh. CPS dilemma.
Stop
Child
2.
Protection Services.
Legal advice. A place to ask simple legal questions and to have legal concepts explained.
Legal advice Reddit.
On the morning of February 7th of 2017, a Redditor by the name of BabyBlue17 would jump into the conversation.
What does karma mean, guys? Any Redditors out there? What does karma mean? Likes? Upvotes?
Explaining and inquiring on an unfortunate dilemma that they found themselves wrapped up in. Their post is titled, "I'm pregnant being investigated by DCS,"
What is DCS?
and reads the following. Hello. I'm 29 years old, happily married. My husband and I are college educated, have
Department of
respectable,
Child
stable
Services.
jobs,
Okay.
and own a home in a nice neighborhood. We're basically as prepared as anyone can be to start a family. I'm almost 9 months pregnant with our first child.
9 months? Oh, that
The
shit's about
problem
to
is that
pop
11
out
years ago,
anytime
when my husband
now.
was a freshman in college, he was arrested for possession of marijuana. It was a large enough
Yep,
amount that
marijuana.
he was charged with a Class D felony, but not intent to deal. He pled guilty and did his time in
Wait.
probation without a problem,
He almost got a felon charge for marijuana?
passing every
Oh,
drug
hell
test
nah.
along the way. He has not touched marijuana since, and we rarely even drink. I have no criminal record and have never done drugs myself. It was a stupid mistake he made as a foolish 18-year-old, and he's worked hard to put it
And he was
behind him.
18? That man's life was about to be
Someone's apparently
ruined.
contacted child services in our area and informed them that we are drug users. This accusation is being taken very seriously because of my husband's record. We've been as cooperative as could be with our caseworker. We've been interviewed, our home has been examined, and she found nothing remotely suspicious or incriminating. We have both taken a drug test and passed. Our caseworker says that everything looks fine so far. Unfortunately, she also says that there's still a possibility that our child could be taken from us in the labor and delivery ward and that we won't be allowed to take her home. I was devastated and horrified to hear that. When I asked why, she said it was not up to her and we'll have to wait and see, which made absolutely no sense. What gives? I feel like there's something that she isn't telling me. But I have no
Okay.
experience with DCS and I'm not aware of anything we could have possibly done wrong. I know they'll have to test my daughter for drugs once she's born, but she hasn't been exposed to drugs. Nothing more than prenatal vitamins, not even Tylenol.
Did you
and I
just
already
say
proved that by
pre-anal?
PAP drugs. Nothing more than prenatal vitamins, not even Tylenol, and I already proved that by passing a drug test. I'm scared and confused. Do I need a lawyer? I'd anticipated spending our savings on our new daughter and parental leave, but I'll use that money for a lawyer if I have to. Thanks for reading, and thanks in advance for your help.
He said
Clearly, the actions
pre-anal.
taken
I
so
know
far
it's
by the
prenatal,
caseworker
but
are
he
cause
said
for alarm.
pre-anal.
Receiving news that you're being investigated and might not be able to keep your newborn child would instill anyone with a feeling of overwhelming anxiety. Thankfully, commenters were quick to jump in, offering various tidbits of advice and insight on how she can get this handled. Get a family law attorney on retainer. Maybe contact the local ACLU chapter. This reaction is pretty extreme, and the fact that someone tipped them when you're obviously not using is pretty malicious.
Ooh.
Another
Someone
Redditor named
tipped
Sudsworthy
them.
floated the possibility that the caseworker is potentially complicit in working with the one who made the report. Others, however, had their reservations on the validity of this entire investigation. Indiana DCS does not get involved with pregnancies. Please make sure the person you're talking to is actually DCS, or don't let them in your home anymore.
What the? Hell no, it's getting crazier and crazier.
And probably the most substantial comment came from a user named Hurry Up Meow, who claimed that they were a former CPS investigator in the OP's data residence.
Oh, hell no.
I'm a
Their freaking baby was about to get sold on the market. I feel like that's what's gonna happen, or what's happening here, what's trying to happen.
former Indiana CPS investigator and assessor. Something here is not making any sense at all, unless the law has changed greatly in the last few years when I left the department. As of this moment, you're pregnant, correct? You don't have any children? They're investigating the fetus? To which OP responded, claiming, "Yeah, we have no children yet. They are investigating the fetus. I wasn't aware that was even something they could do. The report they got must have been quite alarming, I guess. It seemed weird as heck
How
to me
the
too.
hell can you investigate a fetus?
The remainder of the comments, understandably, were incredibly sketched out that this was occurring. It was heavily advised to stop contacting this particular caseworker and to get in contact with a DCS supervisor directly. Hopefully through them, they could get some answers on this. And so the OP went silent for a while. Hours became days, and the thread began to lose a bit of steam,
Hell nah.
as they always do.
Wait,
As
what?
they always, hours became days, and the thread began to lose a bit of steam, as they always do.
Please tell me it doesn't just end here. Alpha, thank you for the Prime, and
Hopefully
Chapino,
things
thank you
were
for
okay.
the 9 months. Hi, Mikey. Is that it? What the heck? Don't tell me that's it. Please tell me it continues.
February 21st of 2017. Here's my original post. When I made it, I was
You're joking. Oh, wait, no. It continues. It continues. It continues. Hold on.
advised to get a lawyer right away. I was also advised that Indiana's DCS doesn't investigate pregnant women who don't already have kids, and that the woman claiming to be a social worker might be an imposter. I contacted and met with a lawyer and explained the situation to him. He seemed to agree that something was very fishy. To make a long story short, the woman handling our case has no affiliation with DCS. I'm still in complete shock.
Hell
We
nah.
went straight to the police, and they're taking this very seriously.
Hell nah.
I can't give a lot of details because it's an ongoing investigation, but she seems to have been a very skilled and well-researched liar. I never would
Did
have
she
known
just not
anything was
ask for
amiss without
credentials?
the advice of this subreddit and the intervention of my attorney. I feel like a complete idiot, but the instinct to cooperate when faced with an intimidating authority figure is strong. I haven't had the baby yet, and we're staying at a trusted family member's home until the baby's born. My OB and the hospital will be
Yes,
delivering
she was gonna freaking take that baby. She was gonna freaking sell that baby.
have already been informed of the situation and will be taking the appropriate security measures. I'm still freaking out, but we're taking every precaution for the safety
Thank
of my
God
child.
for legal
and hopefully
advice,
everything will
Reddit.
turn out okay.
See, I told
Thanks
you
again,
you should take
everybody.
all of your legal
Truly.
questions to Reddit.
Abduction of a newborn is something unfathomable to me.
I told you,
However,
chat.
after reading this and looking into it, I now know that it is a thing. Go
We
figure.
did it.
The stats are interesting too. According to an article made by KVUE in Austin, Texas, from 1964 to October of 2019, 327 children under the age of 1 have been abducted in the US. Of those 327 children,
How many?
from 1964 to October of 2019, 327 children
What?
under the age of 1 have been abducted in the US. Of those 327 who were abducted, 257 of them were taken by women of childbearing age, between the ages of 14 and 39. A nurse or healthcare worker is more likely to take a child from a healthcare setting, while a babysitter, relative, or friend is more likely to take an infant from a home. Had the OP not raised their suspicions, then who knows what the next step the attempted kidnapper would have taken. Perhaps they'd try to get someone to impersonate a nurse, coming face to face with the OP in the recovery room to abduct their child. It might sound like a long shot, but if they were this dedicated, pursuing a fake DCS case against baby blues, and even coming out to inspect their home, then I would
Inspecting their home is crazy. Scoping out the home is hell no. Oh hell, I would have fucking moved as quick as possible away from. I would have. Oh,
wouldn't doubt
hell
that they'd
no.
pull a stunt like this too. To date, the OP understandably hasn't returned to Reddit. Their story, though, will forever live on in r/legal advice as one of the most bizarre and unsettling occurrences that have been
There's also been like a problem where like people buy like some cameras and like download camera apps to for like home security, where they would buy these like cameras and they don't set it up properly, and then people actually will be able to have access to the cameras that are like in your house or like around your house and spy on you that way.
Shared there. I'm sure this would make a great personal story one day. But to be honest, if I were them, I'd be happy with just forgetting it.
I thought that said, oh geez, I took fentanyl. See, you guys got me freaking thinking everything is fent for some reason because you keep saying fent. It is not cravings. Guys, I'm not a freaking crackhead. You're gonna have people thinking that I'm a freaking crackhead or a drug dealer, okay? That's not, I don't do that.
Stop. R/relationships. The place you go for advice in, well, your relationships. On Monday, May 23rd of 2016, a Redditor by the name of Losing My Mind 5 would share a story about what they believed to be their husband spying on them when he isn't home.
Wait,
A story about what they believed to be their husband spying on them when he is name of Losing My Mind 5 would share a story about what they believed to be their husband spying on them when he isn't home. Considering the post received upwards of 6,000 likes and nearly 1.5 thousand comments in just 5 months, it's safe to assume that their story shook some people up. It's deleted now. However, thankfully archives exist to remedy situations like this.
What? You can go on Remove Reddit and search up already deleted. That is kind of scary, actually. Like, that is kind of creepy.
And it read the following. My husband Henry and I have been married for almost 2 years, together for 5. We have a pretty normal relationship and have always felt that we share a mutual trust in each other. We've never broken up, and I can't think of one situation where he'd feel that I'm not trustworthy. I feel like I'm going crazy over this. Henry's career usually requires him to travel rarely, but this year's an exception. His company's in the middle of a reorganization, and he's been traveling to do training seminars about once a month. His trips are usually Monday to Sunday. I've confirmed these trips, and yes, they are legitimate. I'd say that we've been handling it well, but the past few months, my husband's been doing weird things that have caused me to believe that he's spying on me or showing controlling tendencies. The first incident was at the end of March when my husband came home and asked me how my friend was doing with the death of her dog.
I'm gonna close my door real quick. Hold on. This is creepy. Oh, hell no. I'm looking behind me every so often. This is creepy.
At first, I said she was sad, but doing okay. About a minute later, I asked how he knew that, and he said social media. The only reason I asked was because I had a phone call in the living room with my friend when the dog died. Not only that, but my friend had deactivated her.
Hey Yuzu, I know you said not to contact you here, but I've been calling your burner and you haven't been picking up. I just want some moth dust, okay?
My heart dropped for a second.
$40.
Oh my god.
Page before
I was
the
like,
dog
what
died,
the fuck are you talking about?
so it wouldn't have been on there. I'm the only mutual friend he had with her, so I don't think that he'd see anything that she was tagged in. I asked him if he's watching me as a joke, and he said, seriously? Why would you think that? I explained it, and he said no, it was on social media. I just assumed his defensiveness was because he had jet lag. The second incident was in April when I went out with my friends during the weekend. That Saturday night, I texted him that I would let him know when I'm home, and it should be around 12:30 a.m. I got home earlier at about 11 p.m. and fiddled around the kitchen for probably 20 minutes. I'll admit, I forgot to text him. I got a text at about 11:20 that
He's gonna
said,
murder her.
"You're home?" I told him yes, that I was straightening the kitchen, then going to bed. I asked how he knew, and he said he just figured you would be already.
What?
He told me goodnight, and I went to bed. Normally, I wouldn't think anything of this. But this latest incident has me looking back on the past few months.
Oh hell
Henry got home
no.
early from this month's trip.
He has like a tracker on her or something, or he has like a, I don't know, access to her phone's camera or something.
On Friday. I was super excited because he doesn't have a trip until September. When he got home, he asked what I did all week.
Excuse me,
I
Yuzu,
explained
but
all of my
can you
activity.
open the door again? I can't see into your office room anymore.
Shut up. You're so
When he said,
stupid.
"Did you have any friends over?" I said no, and he said, "Oh, really?" I said yes, and then at that point I was really confused because I truly didn't have any friends over. He just huffed and stormed off. Again, I just assumed he was tired. I went to the bedroom and asked if he was okay. And
Sounds like
said
he
that
has
was.
something to hide.
Later that night, we were talking about my week, and I mentioned my brother dropped off some photo albums of my dad, who passed away, and that I wanted to show him some. Henry said, "Oh, your brother was here. Okay," and then mumbled, "That makes sense," as he walked away. I have really good hearing, and I don't
What
think
the
he thought I'd hear
fuck?
it. If he had a camera, is it possible he could have heard a male voice and assumed that it was another male friend? My brother didn't come in the house, but we talked on the front porch with the front door open. I feel crazy just typing this.
Oh hell no.
Sunday, because he was at his mom's, I decided to try and look around. I didn't want to be too obvious, so I kind of just nonchalantly walked around looking at things, accidentally knocking things over, and looking at them when I picked them up, etc. I'm sure it was obvious because I got a call from him asking what I was doing.
What?
I told him just hanging out.
No, that gave me chills, dude. Oh god. Ew, 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 ew. Oh god,
And
he's
he said,
watching
"Doing what?"
her.
I told him I was watching TV. I did have the TV on. There was a pause, and he said, "I'm leaving soon. I'll be home in 20 minutes. He was supposed to be there for 3 more hours. Someone tell me I am overreacting and this is not strange. Am I digging too far into this? I don't know how he'd know about my friend's dog and that I was home early that one night. There's gotta be something going on, right? He's never acted like this before February. It's weird. I get home after him during the week, so I don't get too much time alone, aside from showers, bathroom visits, etc. Help?
Help? Hi Ray, hello. He's just following her in Reddit. Bro, is there actually a way, because I know technically there is a way where because actually I was like really upset at this because there was a friend of mine who her partner, she was like in a really toxic relationship before with this partner, and he had like set up a way for his iPhone to see what she's doing on her iPhone. Is that possible to do it with a camera through someone's phone? Can you watch someone through their camera on their phone? Yes. Oh god, that is so creepy. That is so creepy. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. Yeah, my FBI watching me right now on my phone. My FBI watching me on my my VTuber facial tracking phone. Why do I feel like that's actually a real camera staring at me?
Oh yeah. I can see why this story gained so much steam. In our connected world, options for spying, especially for someone versed in information technology with
Logitech.
access to the network within the house that you live in, are nearly endless. Webcams.
Oh my god. Also, I can't stress this enough, guys. Please make sure that you have like some kind of like app on your phone where you can see if there's people on your like Wi-Fi network or like on your internet, like so that you can see like if there's strangers on your internet, if like if there's like a security breach or like somehow someone managed to connect to your internet.
microphones, smartphones, smart speakers, laptops, connected TVs, what have you. And that's not even including the potential for hidden cameras, which these days are disturbingly simple to come by.
Hidden cameras. Also, I have this like paranoia that whenever I go to like public restrooms, or if I go to like other people's house, I always, if I'm using a restroom other than my own restroom, I always make sure that like there's no like random weird looking objects or like holes in the vicinity that could possibly be hiding a camera, because I'm so paranoid of that.
On is truly something that induces chills within me, because few things are more intimate and more sacred than one's own privacy. And so Reddit jumped on the case, giving her options and theories as to what he might be up to. These ranged pretty widely, from the potential of him cheating and projecting his behavior onto her, to him deriving some fantasy from spying on her. It truly did light this subreddit up for a while. A user named Riker Omega 3 lended their advice with a pretty solid gotcha tactic to subtly pull the evidence out of him. Next time he goes away, unplug the cable modem. If he's monitoring you, he won't be able to without the internet going to the house. Power off your cell phone and any other tablet during this time as well, in case he's using those as a microphone.
That is so fucking smart, but I'm getting freaking goosebumps
Take
just
that
listening
time
to this.
really carefully go through the house. Wherever you were looking when you got busted the first time is where I'd start. Pay attention to anything that's been moved. Look at the air vents, returns, and smoke detectors. These usually have a layer of dust on them. If the dust has been disturbed, odds are someone disturbed them.
Oh,
Look for scuffs on the floor or indentations on the carpet, as if a chair or piece of furniture has been recently moved. If there's a camera or microphone, odds are he's going to have one in the bedroom, so start there. The living room is the next logical option.
Okay, why does this person know all of this though?
Take pictures in every room. When he gets back in town, he's going to want to know what happened with his listening devices. He'll check the internet and the actual devices to make sure that A, that they are working, and B, they're still there. Maybe place the modem at a certain angle or facing a certain direction. If for some reason the first thing he does is check the modem when he gets home, you'll know you're barking up the right tree.
Oh my god, this is so creepy.
Now this, to me, seems like it'd be the best option, and it's a bonus that it's so rudimentary. Next time he's on a work
Reddit
trip
W once
or at his
again.
mom's, cut the internet, effectively buying yourself time to snoop around the house without worrying that you're being watched while doing it. If I were her, I'd do it again.
Yeah, placing something at a specific angle is such a good way to like to catch someone. Like if you're suspecting someone's like doing something that like is obviously not okay, and it's like and you place it a certain way to see if it like is moved at all, then you know.
And again. And
then
again,
you know.
And again. While pleading ignorance every time. Considering the fact that spousal spying is illegal in the US thanks to the Electronic Communications Privacy Act, she'd be able to build a pretty substantial case against him.
What the fuck was that?
Call the police. They're able to check for hidden cameras and other devices that are used to spy on people. Listen, this is your husband, and I get that you love him, but if he's really spying on you while he's gone, it's beyond sick and disgusting, and it's also illegal. If spying equipment's found, you do not need to press charges, but the fact that you can press charges should scare the shit out of him. If you find stuff and still want to stay with him, I'd go to marriage counseling.
Fuck that. I would not want to be with that person.
She checked the router for suspicious connections that could hint at the possibility of hidden network cameras. To which, unfortunately, she responded saying that she's not tech savvy at all. From what I gather here, I'm honestly leaning towards the prior suggestion that the husband's cheating and is projecting his actions onto her.
Yeah,
Before assuming that they've had no prior relationship issues and that this spying dilemma suddenly started around February.
Thank you, Yuzu. I'm too paranoid to go to sleep.
Some sort of significant life change around that time.
Check your windows.
Furthermore, considering the fact that he's away for extended periods of time for work, combined with the fact that he literally dropped everything and left his mom's, take that for what you will, to rush home and address her snooping after he suspected her of doing so, It's just adding up to infidelity to me. Either that, or
Yeah,
he's
if your partner is like hella suspicious of you're doing something behind their back, chances are they're probably doing something behind your back. Just saying.
simply drummed up this sudden infatuation with spying to keep control over their relationship, to purposefully drop hints of the fact that he knows what she's doing, and to prevent her from cheating on him in the future. But then again, that brings us full circle, because why would you need to do something like this if you aren't doing it yourself? Why would you need to convince yourself that your partner isn't cheating, completely out of the blue? To date, Losing My Mind hasn't revisited Reddit to give any sort of follow-up, so it's unclear on what might have happened to her.
No.
There wasn't any location information in her story that allow us to do any further digging, and so we're left here, 4 years later,
She's
hoping that
dead.
they'd come to some sort of positive
She's
outcome.
dead, guys. It's
Losing
over.
My Mind, if you're out there, jump on a private tab, use a VPN, and drop us a sign. It can be anything.
Quick plug in your VPN sponsor.
A smiley face on your profile bio, an unrelated comment on an unrelated post, anything. Your story resonated with a lot of people, and we're all just hoping that you came out of the other end of this all right.
Jesus Christ. Like this is probably like one of the more like plausible Reddit stories, you know. This is like definitely like creepy, but to the point where it's like it's not unbelievable.
Reddit is a massive space, and with such a gargantuan size comes a plethora of strange mysteries that can truly captivate even the most lighthearted subreddits. Tonight, we dove into 3 eerie threads that have recently interested me.
Scary.
I hope you all enjoyed this second installment, and if you have any running theories for any of these, definitely
Oh, was
leave
this
them
the
in the
second
comments.
one?
Also, if you have any
This was only the, oh my god, there's a first one. There's the first one. We skipped to the second one. The dark side of Reddit one. Ew. That is creepy. What is this? What is that thumbnail?
Last night we told you that.
Have you dived into creepypasta stuff, Yuzu? No, I haven't. Is there a link or is there recommendations that you can give me? I have not dove into any of that. Watch them if you dare. Hola, que onda? I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately. Español. Ella no sabe. Is that how I say it? No. Español no sabe. Yeah. No habla español. Oh, no habla español. Yeah. I'm so bilingual. No sé español. Watch the Marble Horneted. Wait, what? Yuzu, say estoy bien, gracias. What does good? What? Marble Hornets is so old though. There's a newer creepypasta channel that's been making their rounds on YouTube lately. Well, what is it? What is it? Let me type it in. Local 58. Local 58. I feel like we watch these before? I feel like we watched these. Maybe we haven't. I don't know. Don't remember. Have you seen Greylock's videos? Let me see. Greylock. Oh, we watched Greylock. We watched Greylock. Marble Hornets is nowhere as creepy as it was back when Slenderman was huge. Oh, I fucking loved Slenderman. I watched all of these Slenderman vlogs from that one channel where when Slenderman was like rising to popularity, and then that one dude like had the diaries. Oh god, that was peak. That was so good.
This just in, VTuber mysteriously vanishes after foolishly watching creepypastas on Steam. Her whereabouts are unknown.
Stop, don't say that. Don't manifest me being gone. Now I have to do the greatest trick of all time. I have the opportunity to do the funniest thing of all time. I will disappear for 5 years, and you'll never hear of me ever again. Until one day I come back with a smiley face on my Twitter handle. That'd be really funny, wouldn't it be, chat? It'd be a really funny bit. And people are like, Yuzu, who? Stop, I'm gonna be sad now. I'm gonna be sad. Everyone's gonna forget about me. And then Yuzu men door hook hand. What? Who's your favorite creepypasta? I don't know if I have a favorite creepypasta. Do I have a... What even is considered a creepypasta? This looks so weird. I don't like this. This is weird. Do you guys want to watch Local 58 first? Or you guys want to watch the first Dark Side of Reddit, and then we can go to Local 58.
Yuzu if you want. You can also look up Midwest Angelica. It's actually really, really good.
Nexpo? Okay, we could do Nexpo first.
Please do not worry, chat. Just like in that one movie, there are multiple of us slam
Midwest
champs in the walls
Angelica.
watching over her. Also boo her for not eating today's stare.
Midwest. And actually, I had a ham and cheese croissant, so that's something. I did eat something. Dude, watch Gemini Home Entertainment. Okay, Gemini Home Entertainment. Gemini Home Entertainment. This one looks familiar too. These all look the same that I don't even remember if I've watched any of these. Because I remember did I watch the Mandela catalog? I feel like we watched that. Nexpo. Oh god, these are so unsettling. These thumbnails are just so creepy. Did you watch Monument Mythos? Let me see. Wait, the Seattle Zombie Woman, an internet mystery.
Returning to
Monument Mythos. Nope, I don't think I watched these either. Okay, all right, let's continue. Let's continue.
Chilling story of a Quebec woman arrested for hacking into people's personal computers and spying on them through their webcams. It's not the only creepy thing hackers can do. In fact, right now, a website out of Russia is streaming hacked security cameras and webcams, including dozens here in Canada.
Wait. Also, Yuzu, I don't think the Nexpo you have right now is the volume 1. It was from 7 years ago, 3 years before volume 2, and it feels like a standalone. The dark side. Why is it named as the same thing? My mom poisoned me. What happened to Iceman? The disturbing side of Reddit. The dark side of Reddit. 4 years ago. Oh, so this one would be... Huh. I kind of want to watch this one though. My mom poisoned me. That sounds scary.
Story of a Quebec woman arrested for hacking into people's personal computers and spying on them through their webcams. It's not the only creepy thing hackers can do. In fact, right now, a website out of Russia is streaming hacked security cameras and webcams into dozens of here in Canada.
National Health Service demanding
the website broadcasts pictures from tens of thousands of private web cameras covering the lives of unsuspecting victims across the globe. Like inside a little shop in NY. Keep in mind that someone may be watching you.
Me looking around my room after they say someone might be watching you. As I have a bunch of lamb champs watching me on Twitch right now.
Reddit is one of the biggest forums on the internet today, and as of 2016, the site has amassed over 236 million unique
See,
viewers.
this is why I don't go on Reddit. Like, why that looks so ugly and so not... How the hell do you navigate this?
Page views per month. This goes without saying that with all the posts and conversations taking place there on a daily basis, there's bound to be some weird and disturbing stuff hidden beneath the surface and waiting to be found. Today, Rainbot and I are going to be sharing with you some hidden gems from the dark and disturbing side of Reddit.
Yay video games.
A user by the name of Yay Video Games seemed to be active on many gaming subreddits before a stunt on one post that resulted in him getting banned. A few years ago, a user named I Wish I Was a Meme made a post in the gaming subreddit asking what everyone's favorite mods were for Elder Scrolls Oblivion. As expected, users chimed in with their recommendations on what to install. However, things began to get a bit weird when Yay Video Games responded. His initial response seemed quite normal and sarcastic and read, "The uninstall button. The game is great and all that, but god, it is hard to fully remove all the junk it leaves behind on your system. You really need to check out that mod when the time comes to get rid of it. Otherwise, I think Ascuro's Oblivion overhaul is a nice start." Now, this is nothing out of the ordinary, right? I thought so too. A user who since deleted their account responded with a simple "what?", which prompted Yay Video Games to reply with this: "The uninstall button. The game is great. Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye-bye always on DRM, but you oft go work. Always on work DR. Check out the junk it leaves behind in you." Now after reading this, we can assume that he must have been carelessly typing, or he could have been tired or something. What the hell does that even mean? Still, nothing too out of the ordinary. The other guy we mentioned then responds once more stating this: "That makes even less sense. Oblivion has an uninstall button and it works. I've used it more times than I care to mention. All mods install themselves in Oblivion's directory. The uninstall doesn't touch them as it's unaware. All you do is delete the Oblivion directory." After this, it just begins to get weird. Yay Video Games then begins responding with the same phrase, "Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye-bye, always on DRM," over and over to the point where he floods the guy's comment thread with countless replies stating that same phrase. Jumping over to another post in gaming by another user who since deleted their account, we can see a post titled, "Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye-bye, always on DRM," which contains a link to a page which is
posting. This guy's tweaking out.
We can see a few groups of people.
This guy's crashing out.
One, people actually talking about Ubisoft and their
He accidentally downloaded more RAM.
Games. 2. People freaking out and wondering what the hell's going on, and 3. Yay Video Games and a congregation of other users repeatedly posting different spins on that same phrase. Now right here you might initially be able to pass this guy off as a spammer, and to be quite honest I felt the same way. It, however, gets interesting when you realize the fact that this guy commented this mess over 4,000 times. Not only does he do that, he also formats each comment differently, with some being self-referential, some containing bold, some containing italics, some containing links, and the vast majority, if not all of them, having unique spelling and length. This guy did more than copy and paste, and to be quite honest, it doesn't stop there. I had just mentioned that Yay Video Games had included links in his comments, and I wanted to share some of those with you. As we can see, the links are sporadically placed within letters and random assortments of words that all take a spin on his initial phrase. Each link takes us to an image that seems to get more and more disturbing and weird as we go along. Now as we can see, most of these appear to be completely random, and there are honestly quite a few that come off as pretty funny. We have one that depicts a drawing of Asian people laughing in underwear while others standing across from them appear to be holding an imaginary gun. We have one that depicts a person in a witch hat with an explosion in the background. There's another that shows a lady pouring milk onto the ground, and there's another that appears to be a distorted person diving into the ground on a beach. It's honestly pretty random, however it gets interesting when we discover the fact that embedded in one of his comments is this. Now at this point, this seems to be what we've gathered so far.
Why is it so
we have
creepy?
An unknown person who seemed to have undergone a change of some sort, leading him to post the same phrase over and over again. 2. The person seems to have self-referential and uniquely formatted comments that would take some time to make. And 3. The comments seem to have a random assortment of bizarre images embedded throughout, with the most notable one being the actual writing of the same phrase that's being posted. Nobody seems to be able to have any explanation for this, although there are many theories that have been thrown around, ranging from a guy who actually snapped and went insane, to a very sophisticated bot that ran the helm of this entire fiasco. Lastly, if anyone tries to access his Reddit profile, they'll simply be met with the 404, and that's it.
What?
A user on a throwaway account called IDK What Even Is This made a post about a year ago on the relationship advice subreddit, claiming that she had found a random digital camera hidden away under her kitchen sink.
That's it? They didn't even solve what?
By stating that her and her husband's relationship is pretty happy-go-lucky, and that nothing really out of the ordinary tends to happen. She's still waiting on her work authorization since she's fairly new to the US, and because of that she has a lot of free time to poke around the house. She stated that one day she randomly stumbled upon an old, dusty biscuit tin while cleaning under her kitchen sink and began to look inside when she noticed a very well-kept digital camera. After turning it on, she realized that there were random assortments of images taken in pairs of only her things. For instance, she claims that she found 2 respective photos of her purse hanging on their dining room chair, followed by 2 pictures of her makeup, and then 2 pictures of her keys on the kitchen counter, and so on and so forth. Following this, she claimed that she didn't quite know what to make of it, if she should even bring it up, and that she was completely confused as to why her husband would do this.
No. If you're creeped out by it, don't bring it up, and then just observe their behavior. See what else that they do, because if you bring it up, then they're gonna change their tactics.
Commenters responded to this with theories being thrown all over the place. In regards to the photos being in pairs, they suggested that the husband possibly didn't know how to properly operate the camera, and like many people, held down the button for too long, resulting in the pictures coming out in pairs. Also, in regards to the photos of the items themselves, well, there have been claims that 1, he could be doing it to possibly ensure that he didn't get her a birthday or a Christmas gift of something that she already has. 2, he's shuffling through her items when she's not around and possibly dressing up and using her things without her knowledge as some sort of fetish. 3, he thinks that there's a ghost haunting the house and wants to make sure that the items are where they left them. Or 4, he's doing it for insurance purposes in case anything were to happen to these items. Now, I want to take a moment to pick some of these apart. In regards to theory 1, the gift thing...
What if he was actually just wearing her dresses and clothes and putting on makeup and all that? What if he was discovering himself?
Would make sense. However, she also stated that he had taken pictures of her keys, which essentially voids this claim. Theory 2, while weird as shit, could be a sensible one, with the husband ensuring that he leaves her used items where they initially were. However, if he was actually doing this, and depending on how big he is, then she most likely would have noticed her things being stretched or maybe her makeup being used. So to be quite honest, this seems unlikely.
One time I was really upset because a long time ago when I had a boyfriend, he put on one of my favorite ever rompers as a joke to like make me laugh, but I got upset because it was my favorite romper and he stretched it and I couldn't even wear it anymore.
Regarding theory number 3, I honestly think it's silly. First off, why the hell would he hide these photos from his wife? And also, if there was actually something weird going on in the house, the wife would most definitely have noticed, since she seems to be the one that's home most of the time anyway. Lastly, with number 4 being the most logical and least extreme theory, once again, why would he be compelled to hide the camera in a dusty biscuit tin under the sink without telling his wife? It just doesn't add up.
Did it make
and
his
it's left
cheeks
a lot of
pop?
people, including myself, confused.
He had a
and
moose
intrigued.
knuckle.
All in all, she hasn't been heard from since she never returned to follow up on the story. It's all pretty sketchy, and I'm still curious exactly what this guy was doing with all those pictures and what he could have been hiding.
My mom poisoned me.
A user named Poisoned by Mom used a throwaway account to make a post in the Off My Chest subreddit claiming that he believed that he was being poisoned by his own mother. He walked us through his backstory, claiming that since he had become an adult, his mother had become extremely manipulative and was completely against him moving out of the house and getting on his feet. He stated that he originally landed the job as a line cook, with his parents constantly reminding him that they're against it. Fast forward, and he eventually left due to health reasons, and after this, got another job as a computer programmer. He claims that while he had this job, his mother and sister had become very hostile, which eventually led to him moving out of the house to live on his own. After working for the programming company for a short while, they eventually let him go, which forced him to have to move.
This is the cubicles that Mr. Incredibles was working at when he was working at the health insurance company, which, by the way, the Incredibles predicted the craziest situation that ever happened in 2024.
Back home. For a while during his stay back with his family, he claims that everything seemed to go well until he began getting calls from recruiters, which led them to become hostile once again. They began throwing remarks at him along the lines of the idea that he didn't love them anymore and that he hated them. It was super manipulative stuff. Eventually, he landed the gig at the programming company once more, and the day before he was scheduled to move out, his mother randomly gave him 2 ramen noodle cups and various other food items to eat while he was away. He knew that
Did you know that you're not supposed to microwave these things? I probably have cancer because I have never prepared these cup noodles with hot water. I always microwave them.
He knew that he didn't have any money, so that's why he initially assumed that she was actually somewhat helping him out, all hostility aside. After his first day at his new job in place, he ate one of the cups of ramen and began to feel ill. He stated that he felt this way before after his sister once fed him something bad a few years prior. He said he felt weak, lightheaded, and short of breath. Even more interestingly, his mother kept following up with him to ensure that he ate the ramen. This eventually led him to believe that, through researching on the internet, he was poisoned by his own mother with cyanide, since most of the symptoms that he was experiencing were the exact same as what he found online, and also due to the fact that his mother was eerily adamant on him eating his ramen. He went forward and bought a cyanide test kit online and posted his results, which appear to have come up positive.
What?
He then ended his post with a statement saying that he's going to call the cops and never talk to his family again, followed with an update that the authorities unfortunately couldn't do much with his kit since it was open. A few months later, he posted another update claiming that he was living out of a cheap motel in Kansas and that apparently his mother had somehow found him and called the motel. She asked if she could speak with him, and the motel refused to give her his information since she couldn't prove that she was his mother. The motel then notified him of this, and we can assume that he felt unnerved. He stated that the next day for work, he left a little earlier than usual just to be safe. While at the bus stop, he noticed a strange and random car with the driver wearing an ominous black hood. Thinking back, he remembered that his mother had once told him that if she visited him, she would be in a rental car, and so he assumed that this was his mother dressed pretty strangely. After catching a glimpse of her face, he knew for sure that it was her, and she kept signaling for him to come closer to her, and that she only wanted a hug.
No.
He quickly refused and proceeded to take another bus to his job, as she knows where his usual stop is now. After this, he then closed his last post by asking for advice, and if there are any other programming job openings around the area, in hopes of being able to move. His very last update was in a comment with him claiming that he did in fact find another job, and is now living out of state in much better health. The creepiest part about this entire story is the fact that his mother, his own flesh and blood, attempted to manipulate him into staying home and living with her and her husband indefinitely. Generally, the very premise of someone's child getting on their feet and growing up as an adult is usually applauded by the parents. However, as we can see with our victim, this was definitely not the case. Furthermore, the fact that his own mother poisoned him for being successful and having the ability to move out on his own is astonishing to me. It's one thing to be disappointed and manipulative toward your child, however,
the way
it's a
he
completely
was
different
so
story when you
proactive
come
in the
to
way that
determine
he
the fact
handled
they
the
attempted to
situation
kill
is
him.
like so good though. Like he didn't wait for anything bad to happen to him. He always tried to get out of the situation. Like that guy's freaking survival instincts 100 plus 100. This guy is crazy survival instincts.
With proper evidence, this family could be put in prison or jail. However, due to the unfortunate circumstances surrounding this, our victim can do nothing but cut them off and live his own separate life entirely.
What even is the point? What even is the point of the system then?
There's a subreddit called Controllable Webcams, where users can post direct links to accessible, unsecured, and vulnerable Wi-Fi cameras. This subreddit alone has 36,000 subscribers, and most of them seem to be active users. The posts range anywhere from public surveillance camera feeds to in-home Wi-Fi cameras of random stuff, ranging anywhere from displaying people as they sleep to as far as watching them go about their daily lives. There are many websites that are linked to this subreddit.
And that was just a normal Reddit. That was a normal thread on Reddit. Just random links to unsecure webcams of people. What
with
the
a notable
hell?
one being the Nestcam directory. The Nestcam directory is essentially a compilation of live, vulnerable in-home Wi-Fi cameras that have been tapped into and submitted to the site. On this site in particular, we have the means to tap into feeds displaying backyards, churches, and even bedrooms, all in real time. Now, if you're not familiar with Nestcam, they're one of the top sellers of in-home Wi-Fi cameras, and if you don't know what the hell you're doing when you set it up, you can easily leave open a loophole that would allow you to be watched through the many, many directories that exist on both the surface and deep web, much like this one. The amount of people that are being watched through these directories without their knowledge is outrageous, and the problem really exists solely due to a disconnect of information between the internet provider, the Wi-Fi camera manufacturer, and simple user ignorance. Also, around the web exist many claims from users that claim to have an addiction to watching these webcams without the victim's knowledge. One user, for instance, made a claim that he indeed felt guilty about spying on people that have cameras set up all over their home, and even went as far to say that he felt morally that he should probably reach out to these people and let them know that their entire lives are being broadcast to the world. However, after some thought, he asked himself, why? The fun would be over. It is without a doubt creepy shit.
God. And I bet you that's a lot of that. I bet you a lot of those people that participated in this probably share the same thoughts. They probably share the same feelings.
The fun would be over. It is without a doubt creepy shit, and it makes you think just what the hell people are thinking when they do these sorts of things. This Reddit community, however, is just a tiny implication of a much larger following that exists on the internet today. There are, in fact, many, many more hidden websites and directories out there that have surprisingly large user bases. If you do any sort of digging on the subject, you'll be shocked at just how much you can really find out there.
Oh, hell no.
All in all, people tend to forget that anytime you use your phone, a camera is being centered upon your face, and this could be tapped into at any time. The same goes for your laptop and any other smart device that you may own. You can't be too safe these days, and if you've ever made fun of someone who has their laptop cameras covered or anything like that...
Yeah, I do that. Or when I had laptops, I always made sure to put post-it notes on the camera of the laptop.
I'd think about that for a minute and consider the fact that you could someday stumble upon a feed of yourself somewhere out there.
As we said before, Reddit is one of the largest forums on the internet today, and like we just discussed, there's clearly a disturbing and dark side to the site. We hope you all enjoyed this, and I wanted to give a very huge and special thank you to Rainbot for joining me in this project.
Imagine Yuzu's using her phone and Flash happens and they text her the image. Yeah, imagine. Oh my God, because sometimes I'll be not in the best looking clothes or clothes in general, but I'll be on my phone, and what if someone snaps a photo of me looking at me and then sends it directly to me, and I just look like a freaking goblin. Who cares about the clothes? They would be spying on you. Yeah, but like, do I look good though? Like, if I look ugly, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Like, rare goblin sighting.
Takes you to find out this way, Yuzu, but there's a channel on YouTube that's been recording your every stream for years. Anyone can go there and see what you've been up to. It's called Yuzu vtyuzu Corpa.
It's called Yuzu VODs, by the way, where you can see every single stream that I've ever streamed. Yuzu VODs. The full VOD that you can subscribe to and press the bell icon to look at my previous streams. Every stream ever, except for my karaoke stream. Someone's going to tap into your phone camera and that person is going to see Yuzu's phone landing right on her face. I did that a couple days ago and it busted my lip. I was getting ready for bed and I was on my phone for a little bit and I dropped my phone on my face and it busted my lip and I was bleeding. So I hate that.
Yuzu sending an SOS message to her emergency contact by mistake while she is browsing TikTok while taking a shit.
And
she
actually
is eating a bagel too.
Actually, for some reason, when I do number twos, when I poop in the bathroom, as opposed to not pooping in the bathroom, I'm kidding. But when I poop, I can't go on my phone. I can't look at my phone because I like need to concentrate on pooping. Like if I'm not concentrated on it, I can't. I have to fully concentrate. I have to lock in. Exactly. But I can go on my phone if I'm peeing. Like that's easy. But when I'm pooping, you gotta lock in. Time to shit.
The state of Washington is always a new adventure for me. I want to share with you the sights and sounds of this beautiful northwest corner of our nation.
Wasn't there like a case in Florida where someone was on bath salts and they like tried to eat someone?
5th, 2021, a disturbance is reported alongside a popular roadway in Seattle, Washington, drawing heavy police presence to the area. According to witnesses on the scene, a woman had been spotted limping down the street, wailing in agony while holding an unknown object in her hand. The woman was acting incredibly erratic and appeared to be seriously injured, though despite this, it had apparently taken as many as 8 police officers to subdue and restrain her. And this was far from the most chilling detail, with that being in the woman's appearance, as onlookers would go on to claim that there was something
He do be having that
off
chills
about her
voice.
face. It was unnatural, almost zombie-like. The story began as whispers among the community, with brief mentions being made across the web, though not many would take these posts seriously. As to outsiders, this seemed to be yet another internet hoax, or perhaps just some kind of extreme overreaction. But in reality, this was a very real scene that played out that evening, and one that was about to be put on display for the whole world to see, as the first video would quickly emerge, thrusting this case into an international spotlight and giving birth to an internet mystery known today
Zombie Woman
as the Seattle Zombie Woman. Before we dive into this, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have a brand new second channel called Crowley.
Number 13, Burger King Zombie Woman. The first footage of the incident emerges on the evening. What if this is just like a lady on like a high or something? What if it's just like some random lady that's on drugs?
The video immediately took the world by storm, as it showed a woman with a ghostly pale face, with half her head shaven, as she limps across the street wearing only one shoe. And with each step she takes, she seems to yell in pain, before the video quickly cuts. In her hand appears to be the mysterious object, which the uploader of the video claimed to be a fanny pack. And disturbingly, it appeared to be soaked in blood, along with many other parts of the woman's body. In terms of context, there wasn't much, as despite the video going viral across the site, information on this individual dubbed the Seattle Zombie Woman was practically non-existent. According to the uploader, police
That's literally just a person from Walmart.
had arrived and intervened just after the recording had stopped, and that it had taken a full team of officers to ultimately restrain her and eventually take her away, likely to get some form of treatment.
Oh my. These are the people at Walmart.
Though they admit that they weren't sure what happened from there, or just as importantly, what had led to this moment. Though interestingly enough, despite the fact that the answers were not emerging, other recordings certainly were. On the same day this now infamous TikTok was posted, another clip would be posted to YouTube by a separate user, seemingly showing a different angle of the same event, with this version being significantly longer.
She just looks like someone who needs help. It looks like there's officers next to her too, like they're trying to figure out what's going on.
It appears completely abnormal, with her eyes and lips appearing to be pitch black, which is a dramatic contrast to her pale complexion. All in all, she looks sickly and appears to be acting completely
Oh, this was a
unhinged.
prank?
Near her,
What?
multiple cops are seen attempting to calm her down, though she just continues walking and screaming, even escaping their grasp.
Wasn't this an act as she was a theater person, or I'm thinking about someone else? Was it?
The video, while continuing her erratic behavior.
Oh damn, she's running away from the police.
From there, it's assumed that the struggle continued before finally coming to an end sometime later, which was showcased in yet another video posted to TikTok. And it's in this clip where the mystery takes a far darker turn, as we can hear the lady say her first discernible words.
Okay. Hold on. Was this really a prank? Hi, EMT of 30 years. This is bonkers. Immediately upon watching the first video, my thought was psych patient throughout the full video. Psych patient, but the ending blew my mind. I mean, I still think she's a psych patient for that stunt, but a very different kind of... Oh, it was a stunt. It was a stunt. I love how everyone's just walking past her like, ah, yes, a normal day in Seattle. To be fair, though, Seattle is definitely one of like the states who has like really high drug usage. So this probably seems normal for people in Seattle. Sorry, Washington. Sorry, Washington. The state of Seattle. My bad. Don't look at me. But I know that Washington has a lot of... Well, mostly in Seattle, I guess. The state of Seattle and the state of San Francisco. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Conga, thank you for the prime. And EXO, thank you for the prime. Why do you hate Washington? I don't. It was a slip of tongue. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean the state of Seattle. I was thinking Washington, but I said Seattle because that was where it was located. It's still the same place. Slip of tongue? What? What? Is that not a phrase? Is that not... What is the correct phrase then? What do people say? Slip of tongue. It's slip of the tongue. Why does that even matter? Why does it even matter? Slip of the tongue. Slip of tongue. Slip of tongue. That sounds normal to me. Taken for granite. Granite. Is it granite? Granite or granite? Granted. Both are correct. See, I say granite because it sounds right. Granite. Granite. Who the fuck says granite? Because it sounds like sulfite or like I don't know. It sounds right. Granite. Taken for granite. I always thought the saying was granite too. Well, I always knew it was taken for granted. I always knew that. Oh, fuck. Yuzu, what would it even mean to take something for granted? Well, I knew it was granted. I knew it was granted. Someone said granite, so... She dropped her spoon. I actually dropped my screwdriver because I had to fix my freaking mic arm because for some reason it's loose and it's not holding my mic up properly. The judge just verified my account to say, who the hell says granite, not granted? Not me. You guys have the wrong person. I do not say it like that. I say granted. Take it for granted. No shot. You verified your account just to say that. Just to shit on me. I hate it here. The dedication to absolutely flame them off. I hate it here. It's ogre, guys. It's ogre. What the hell is this?
Proceed to the highlighted round.
What is the definition of analog horror and why is it named analog horror? Like, what exactly is analog horror?
Continue on hold.
Like film of VHS tapes. Death, thank you for the raid. Welcome. It's anal logging. Oh, okay, so you're logging your anal. Got it.
Park Drive. Then in 500 feet, turn right onto North 38th Street. You will arrive at your
You're logging your anal, and it's horrifying. Got it. Analog.
Turn right onto North 38th Street.
Turning right.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Merritt Parkway. You are on the fastest available route.
What the hell is this?
Turn left onto Merritt Parkway, then take the on-ramp to Highway 114 North.
I'm watching. These look like people. The lights... Stop.
Traffic ahead. Rerouting. In 10 miles, take exit 17, then turn right onto Quarry Utility Road South.
Ooh, that was creepy.
You are on the fastest route.
Rerouting. The lights look like people.
In 2.8 miles, keep right to stay on Service Causeway H516. You will arrive at your destination in 14 minutes.
What if you were doing a road trip and then Google led you onto the wrong turn, and then you actually end up in like some kind of cannibal village where they like tie you up and start eating you limb from limb while you're still alive?
Rerouting. Make a U-turn.
A U-turn?
Head east for 1/4 of a mile.
What?
Then follow signs for do not enter.
Where the hell is this person?
Continue on unnamed road. Then, in 300 feet, turn off your headlights.
I'm keeping my eyes peeled. Is something gonna pop up? I'm scared.
Rerouting. Make a U-turn. Your
I don't see it.
destination is behind you.
I don't see it.
In 500 feet. Your destination will be on in 300 feet. Your destination in 250 feet. Rerouting. Your destination will be in 50 feet. You will arrive at your destination.
What? The unemployed friend traveling on a random Monday. That unemployed friend. That unemployed friend asking if you're up and it's fucking 4 a.m. Wait. I'm always up at 4 a.m. And I would be up. Well, damn. Shit. Me accidentally roasting myself. Friendly fire, my bad. I am the unemployed friend. This concludes our broadcast day. Have a great night. Contingency message real. To be used only in the event of United States complete surrender to insurmountable enemy forces. Public broadcasts. Okay. And bright stars through the perilous line. Wait, the worst has come to pass. Despite the sacrifices of our citizens and the might of our armed forces, the United States has been forced to surrender to her enemy. Though they may occupy our borders, our streets, and our homes, the enemy will never occupy our spirit. That is why all Americans are now called upon to act, to preserve the memory of the United States clear and bright, untarnished and uncompromised. Know that I have already taken action in the company of family and loved ones. Now all Americans, every man, woman, and child are called upon to act before the moment passes by. Let our united resolve echo through history. Even in defeat, we refuse to yield. Even in defeat, we claim victory. So they're telling us to kill ourselves? What? Access to a loaded firearm is ideal. Place muzzle, hole of gun, upward to roof of mouth. Your local law enforcement has been ordered to ensure your compliance. It is against the law to delay. Oh, so we have to kill ourselves. If there is time, victory position. Remember the 3 F's: front, lawn, face up, feet together. Tend to them before yourself. What? You have to kill the babies first? They'll never take us alive. Earlier today, the station aired what appeared to be a warning message from a U.S. government agency. This has been confirmed as a hoax. Loco 58 apologizes for any confusion. Well, we already did it, so what now? Ooh, honestly, that's like kind of crazy because like actually, I mean, it's not as extreme as like a public broadcast telling people to kill themselves, but there was a situation where Hawaii, they had sounded the alarms and released emergency broadcasts and warnings on their phone because a nuclear bomb threat, which was revealed later on that day to be a mistake that someone had made, but everyone was alerted of a nuclear bomb threat that was heading towards Hawaii, and this happened like a couple years ago. You just walked out of work when you got a wait, what did you say? You just walked out of work when I got the message. You're like, oh shit, I'm out. I'm out of here. Wait, what do you even do actually? Like, what do you even do in that situation? The County Weather Service has issued a warning for a meteorological event. This warning is effective immediately and continues until sunrise tomorrow morning. Citizens are advised not to observe this event with a naked eye. Oh, it's like an eclipse. You're not supposed to look at the eclipse. The eclipse. The County Weather Service has issued the following correction for the weather warning effect. For your safety, remain indoors. Ah, I can't read it. Remain indoors. Do not look at the night sky. More information to follow. Meteorological event is safe for all to view. Warning has been lifted. Go outside now. Can you read this? Oh god, I don't like that. Look at the moon. Do not look at the moon. Stay inside, don't look at the night sky. Face away from all windows. I'm literally facing a window right now. I have a mirror in my room. I'm not looking at my mirror right now. The moon came in. He found me. Through the mirror. Oh, hell no. I'm not looking at my mirror. Light like eyes. Not light, but blood. I drown in him. If you are afraid, I'm not. I'm not.
These are inspired by an actual nuclear war
We will
preparedness
look
series
together.
the British Gov made in the 80s.
Don't look,
called
chat.
Protect and Survive. There's even instructions on how the general public can store dead bodies.
Oh God. That is creepy. What the flip? What the flip? Don't look at the moon. Don't look at the moon shows footage of the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Imagine that you're just watching the broadcast and it says avoid all mirrors, then TV shuts off and the mirror becomes a TV so it reflects. Stop! Oh, that. Oh, I do not want to think of that. Oh, shit. Oh, goodness. Public is advised not to watch with the naked eye. Well, it's on the internet, so I'm safe. Yeah, it's on the internet, so we're good, guys. We're safe. There's always a sense of security seeing the credits of each of these videos, right? Man. These are like way more creepier than the videos we were watching earlier, even though the videos we were watching were based off of true stories. The analog horror is like just ambient. Look away, it does not matter. There are no other receivers. Safety in numbers. Maybe I should just... Is there like a playlist? Can I just watch it through a playlist? No. What if I do... Oh, I watched this one. I already watched this one. No sleep for you, Anunnaki. We're all staying up so that I can force you guys to play Path of Exile after. Ew! I hate the face on that moon. Its smile is so large. Aww. That was so cute. The girl Skelly. Oh. Hey. What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't even want... Ew, the freaking moon on the corner of the screen. Oh, that looks like the face hugger from Alien, where it puts its stuff in your mouth. That's a colonoscopy. That's someone's anal cavity. Oop, that was mine. Shadow. Oh no. Oh, Shadow. Not again. Uh-oh. Whose hole is showing on screen? Dead. What? Okay. Oh. Why does he look that? He just fucking gave up. He just laid down and died. Bro, this edible wasn't shit. Okay. Almost done with this channel. I'm surprised they haven't like put out anything new though. This was... Oh, wait, actually they still update, but very rarely. This was a month ago. Very, very summertime. Summertime beach vibes. We send signals to ourselves through their domain. Did we really believe they wouldn't add their own? Oh no.
Your destination has moved.
Don't touch. More to come. We begin our broadcast day. Thank you for supporting community television. The case that changed Japan forever. Japan's most infamous case, the Sakakibara Sato incident. That one, really? Oh gosh. Disturbing effect of child neglect. Open that one. Yeah, we can watch the Japan one after we finish all of these videos here. I think we watched the Gemini Home Entertainment one. I'm pretty sure we did that one. I think. Maybe we did. I'm not sure. Real sleep. Myth versus fact. Turn to page 7 in your workbook. Dreaming is necessary for regular sleep function. Fact. Modern medicine agrees that REM, rapid eye motion sleep, is necessary for mental health. While dreaming can occur during REM sleep, it is merely correlational, not causal. Dreams contain symbolism that can predict the future. False. Or myth. Oh. The symbols in dreams arise from the unconscious mind's assigning narrative meaning to a neurochemical waste filtration process. Precognition is a lie. Sleep allows the body and mind to heal and recover. Fact. Bye, Armor. 8 hours of sleep per night is beneficial for both body and mind. However, these benefits are greatly diminished by the frantic, nonsensical images and auditory hallucinations we call dreaming. Dreaming is the vestige of A primitive mine. The Kleitman map. Turn to page 9 in your workbook. Our studies have allowed us to zero in on the neural pathways that dreams exploit in the subconscious mind. A Kleitman map is an index of electric activity in a brain burdened by dream stimuli. Once mapped, this activity can be triggered by other controlled stimuli, including via the visual cortex. The opposite effect can be induced by using the inverse of the Kleitman map. No more dreaming. This is what restful, real sleep looks like. Inducing your anti-dream. Two minds are alike. This instructional video was customized for you using the personalized Kleitman map for your week 6 sleep session. Stare directly at the center of your television. Okay. Oh, hell no. I hate this already. Oh, fuck this. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I hated that. I hated that a lot. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Mm-mm. Ew, I can still kind of see it on my screen a little bit. Ew. Uh-uh. I feel like this is something that I would watch if like... Or something I would watch if I was like getting tortured. This is like a torture device. Oh, I still see it. I hate that. No, 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 no. Ew, ew, ew. Read each phrase without... Wait. Without reading? Good night. You have completed the real sleep program. Ew, I still see it. I still see it. Consult your technician if you're experiencing delayed results and unwanted side effects. Do not see a doctor. I don't like that. I don't like that. Ew. I'm definitely not going to be able to sleep. This is, you know, I'm not even, guys, I'm kind of scared because like after a stream, like I still need to shower, but like I'm kind of scared to shower because, you know, I feel like if I close my eyes while I'm washing my hair with shampoo, that like a hand is gonna come out of my hair and like try to oh god, I don't even want to think about it. Yeah, like The Grudge, the hand is gonna come out of my hair and try to choke me or to kill me. What if it's hot in a way? Like a hand like comes out of... What the hell is that? It's UFOs. It's unidentified flying objects. I knew it. Aliens are real. I knew it. I seen one. I seen one last night out in the cornfields. Pleiades. I have a feeling the face is gonna show up again. Oh, fuck. I can't see. Jesus. Thursday, Wednesday. Whoa. Okay, that's really cool, actually. Is it possible to actually view the moon's surface through a telescope? Yes? Really? Really? I want to do it. I want to do that. I want to look through telescopes. Oh my god, that's a... Do you see that? Did you see it? It's even pointing, it even has an arrow for us to take a look at what it's pointing at. The moon has a tramp stamp. Wait, oh my god, it was pointing to me. It was pointing to me. It was like, did you see it? That looks hella creepy. What? Rejoice! That kind of looked like the Nags emo, where he's like throwing his hands up in the air. Skywatching, written, edited by Chris. Oh, it's the credits. That one was more interesting than creepy, actually. I like that one. I did not like the sleeping one. The sleeping one was a little too much. I did not enjoy seeing that person's face.
Very same room.
There was faces. There was a bunch of faces.
So you see, dead men do tell tales. Will she try to explain it? At all? Well, that I would like to hear, because I can't explain it. But it happened just the same.
$11:58:50 p.m. It's almost midnight. Goodbye, analog. In accordance with FCG regulations, Local 58 will finally make a switch from analog to digital broadcast format starting tonight, July 13th, 2021 at midnight. Older television sets will experience an interruption in service. It's over. Analog TV owners may qualify to receive a free digital conversion kit. Their legacy ended. Or ends at midnight. I'm not gonna go to the link. You think I'm gonna go to that link? I'm gonna have a virus downloaded on my PC. I'm gonna type in the link and all of a sudden I'm on the dark webs. The station will not be participating in digital conversion at this time. If you're viewing this message, your TV has not been configured for digital reception. Was that a thing back in the day? Did they have to configure TVs for reception? The background Yuzu? What? Hold on. I can't see it. Oh, I see it. The one you watched, the always hear, they make you thought from pieces. They cut the I am all knife, all what? Thought shape in needles, they dream themselves in knives. Go outside now. Go outside now. I don't even want to shower tonight. I'm scared. I'm gonna shower, obviously, but I'm scared right now. I just need a little time. This was an excuse for Yuzu to not shower. How'd you know? How'd you know I wanted to get myself scared enough so that I didn't have to shower tonight? I don't know why I always do this to myself, because every single time we do something like this, I'm so scared to the point where I just can't sleep. I'm like, guys, I have the greatest idea. Even though I know that this is going to make me paranoid and not able to sleep tonight, I'm going to do it anyways, and you're going to suffer with me. Federal law imposes severe civil and criminal penalties for the unauthorized reception of the analog frequencies formerly allocated to broadcast television. It's worth it though. It's so fun. I love it so much. Why would you drag us with you? Because we're in this together. I thought we were a team, chat. I thought we were a team. We do this together. We do everything together. Unauthorized analog reception constitutes a felony with a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in prison and or a $150,000 fine. That must have been millions of dollars back in the day. There is no I in team. Yes, there is. There, if you spell it with an I, if you go TEAIM, team. You just have to believe. Holy shit. 30 minutes. Do we watch this? Special presentation. Okay, stream starting. Get cozy. I'm letting them stream for me. I'm gonna kick back on my seat and lean back a little bit. So if I fall off the screen, you know why. I'm getting cozy. Streamer hack. Streamer hack. Just watch another streamer. It's free content. Okay. All right, who casted Meteor? It kind of looks like a tooth. It kind of just looks like a scan of someone's tooth. Okay, I thought we were just gonna watch the timer go down. Never mind. There is actually content. Discovered in 2006, the surface details of 57838 Eidolon has been difficult to discern due to its rapid rotations and high albedo and high libido. I think it's rock solid from its high libido. What that rock do? It does kind of, it looks like a skull now that I'm looking closer at it. What if it's a fragment of someone's skull? Or someone's testicle. Period. At points during its rotation, shadows on 57838 Eidolon's irregular surface lend its nickname Face in Space and Comet Skull. I was right. It does look like a skull. I was right. I predicted it. Skull of a dead god. What if gods are real and they live in space and there's like a congregation where they like huddle up and discuss earthly matters? Because like all of the, what if all of them had their own planet, but they all ran their planet into the ground, and now Earth is the last known planet with intelligent life on it. So now all of the gods have to work together to make sure that the Earth doesn't perish like their previous planets did because they ran it to the ground. She knows. Sorry, Yuzu. It's time. No, it was a joke. It was. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's just a game theory. You should write a book. I feel like my book would not be cohesive at all. I am perfectly comfortable with making my own lore instead of a full-blown book. See, it does look like a skull. I knew it. Good night, Lord. Oh my god, yeah, it's doing the holy. It's reacting to a streamer right now. It's reacting to Cinder's IRL live performance. He said, VTuber physics aren't real, they can't hurt you. Holy shit! Oh my god. Is it gonna crash into the planet? Perhaps. Like, why have we not figured out a way to just move the entire solar system? Yeah. Like, why don't we just lasso in a bigger mass object that has a giant gravitational pull, and then like we hang it over the solar system like a carrot hanging over a donkey, and then we have it pull us infinitely towards another area in space. Also, I was wondering, like, why can't we just have, okay, for example, right, if we get a box and we were to sit on a box and we hang a magnet in front of us and we put a magnet on the box, theoretically, wouldn't we be able to generate infinite? Can't we just move that like that? Because the magnet would be pulling towards the other magnet. So why doesn't it work? Get me a Nobel Prize. Give me a freaking a medal. The other magnet would be pulling back. Well, just face it the other way then. If it's pulling... Newton in shambles. Sometimes I think you should stop thinking about things. Guys, I think this is okay, wait. Is there a place that I can draw? Like, what can I use to draw? Okay, let me draw this, guys. Hold on. Let me figure out if I can draw like a notepad. Do I have MS Paint? Okay, here we go. So, I'm thinking. Okay, I'm thinking, right? Okay, so if we were to have this cart, well, you know, this little cart, a little mine cart. That's the wheels. That's our rims. Okay. And then this is us, right? This is us. And we're holding a stick with a giant magnet.
Yuzu, what do you think would happen if the Earth and all life moved away from the sun?
And then, hold on. Wait, let me answer that question after this. And then we have a magnet. Oh, fuck. What was the other thing that I was using? Was it this? And then we have another magnet right here. Wouldn't that create like a magnetic pull towards each other? So we would, in theory, go forward. This is the like little speedy boost. It's so simple. It's so simple. Why hasn't anyone does this? Very humane. Free energy. If you were massless and there was no friction, this would work. Well, why doesn't it work now? Like, I don't understand why this doesn't work. Oil companies hate this one simple trick. The magnets both pull each other on the opposite direction, so nothing happens. Yeah, but I'm saying if that is the case, then we quickly like whip this magnet forward, and then like, you know, and then the magnet from on the car will pull towards it, the magnet. She cracks the code. Like, could just imagine with like this stick right here, right? It's like a extendo rod, and you press one button and it extends further away like really quickly. So in theory, this magnet is still pulling towards this magnet. So the concept is just very human. You extend the rod and then you quickly you have this rod and you quickly extend it and then you pull it back again when you need to slow down on your speed.
Come on, Yuzu, this obviously wouldn't work. The cart would be too heavy to pull. Now if we eliminate that factor and shove the other magnet up my... Doesn't matter where I put the magnet. If I would hold the other magnet
more
on my
magnets.
person, I would probably be able to float.
No Nobel Prize winner here. Einstein would be proud. Yeah, I studied underneath Einstein and Newton. I'm the next one. You can say that you were here first. What happens if the magnets touch? Do you go in reverse? If the magnets touch, then that means you wouldn't move. So like if you had a magnet, like if you needed to reverse, then you just switch over. Oh, fuck. You just switch over to this side. So then that's your reverse.
You know there's a phenomenon where the more stupid the person is, the more smart they think they are. I think we have a prime example of this phenomenon right here.
I just don't understand how it doesn't work. Like, why can't it? That's literally infinite energy logic. You know, we just create energy. Why can't we just create energy? If I put a magnet on the bottom of the car, can I fly? Oh my God, wait, you're actually right, because so If you were to do, okay, if you were to have a magnet here, if you were to have a magnet here, and you know how magnets, if you know the magnets where you like play with as a kid, right? And then you like, and then you pull it apart and then you flip it over on the opposite side and they like, they're not attracted to each other. So like they pull away from each other. So what if you have an opposite magnet facing the opposite direction, like this?
Yuzu, think about it this way. The closer magnets are, the stronger the pull between them. When they make contact, that is when the pull is strongest. So why don't two magnets that are in contact move?
Because they're already connected. So you have to play with it a little. So you like drag it along with you. Because when you're playing with magnets, right? When you're playing with magnets, okay, right? These are magnets, right? And if you were holding, oh fuck. If you're holding this magnet, and this magnet is not anchored down to anything, this magnet would want to go towards this magnet. So that's my theory, right?
Did you know that if you pointed your ass in the opposite direction you are moving and farted, you would go faster?
Wait, what? Urethra. So you're saying you would just pull the magnet you're dangling in front of you closer to you? I don't know. My brain hurts now. But like I'm saying, if these magnets are opposite from each other, then that means you could technically fly. You'd probably be able to fly. Wait, actually, no, it would. No, you would have to face it towards each other for these magnets. These magnets would have to face each other. Wouldn't that be dangerous? Well, that's not the problem. The problem is we're solving the energy crisis, chat.
Is not one way. Both are moving towards each other. This cancels out any movement once they make contact. The moving something else is a whole other thing that I don't think we can explain to you in text dench.
That's not gonna work. Well, it should. You know what? It probably does work, and we just never tried.
As long
you know
as
what?
the magnets
We
are
never.
to the same
You never
vessel,
know
the
until you
vessel is
try.
not going anywhere.
You never know until you try, and I'm the first one to tackle this problem. You don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm really glad you're teaching this to us, Yuzu, instead of teaching this to kids.
I'm gonna prove you guys all wrong. Next time I come on here, I'm gonna have an IRL stream set up and I'm gonna prove everyone wrong. I'm gonna have comically large magnets and a mine cart, and I'm gonna tape a magnet to the mine cart and have a little stick of a that's connected to another magnet, and I'll show you the infinite energy glitch. I will show you the infinite energy glitch, and all the oil companies are going to come after me, and I will disappear because the oil companies had set a hit on me. Call me a mage. This is my sorcery. I'm turning science into sorcery. Replace oil with magnets. If you move the magnet yourself, it's not infinite energy. Oh. Well, it's less energy than oil. The infinite non-oil glitch. The most eco-efficient energy. This is eco-friendly. This is better than electric cars, better than oil cars. This is Yuzu energy. This is Yuzu energy. So just bike pedaling. This is better than bikes and scooters and skateboards. This is better than anything you could ever imagine. More magnets in that drawing than brain cells in Yuzu's head. Better idea, attach the minecart wheels to pedals and move it that way.
Cord output into its own input and put a separate cord output into the first outlet and put the second cord into a wall socket, you'll have infinite power. Yo.
Huh? What? Y'all hear something? It's like an orc in Warhammer. It runs on imagination. See, I'm part of the orcs. If I believe it and if I will it into existence, it just works, guys. Red is stronger, green is faster, and purple is invisible.
Will follow. So if you just strap a car to one of them, then...
Wait, I have a new idea for you, Yuzu. Touch the magnets to pair them each other, then throw one of them and the other will follow. So if you strap a car to one of them, that that was my point. Like if you have you just have a magnet and two magnets, it just works.
Oi, red ones go faster.
Red one fatter. Red one fatter. Red go faster. Oh. You didn't miss anything. It was just black screen. Yeah, this is probably what it sounds like in my head, honestly. Oh, I saw a face. There was a face there. I saw that. I want to grab water downstairs, but I'm scared. I did like that. That's not good. That's creepy.
Fun fact, you are not allowed patents on perpetual motion systems, not because the law says it's impossible, but because it's impossible to prove that it's perpetual Yuzu nerd.
How do you know? How do you know it's not possible? Anything's possible if you put your mind to it. The law of thermodynamics? Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Laws are meant to be broken. Rules are meant to be broken. They just didn't think outside the box. They're mad that they never thought of that before.
As the last glimmer of sunlight dissolves on the horizon, newborn shadows emerge to crawl, then stride.
Oh, you
then
don't
race
have to
across
worry,
the
Yuzu. There is nothing scary downstairs. Come by any time.
Ew.
Hushed world. Mason County, West Virginia. Known for its share of strange occurrences
The woman
and
in
mysteries that border on the
profile.
supernatural, even the occult. The ghost stories in Mason stretch back 100 years or more, as early as its founding by missionaries. The region is
West
home to what's called the most
Virginia,
haunted cities in
mountain
America.
mama,
But there is
take
one
me
particular
home.
legend that modern folklorists watch to rise
Country
seemingly
roads.
overnight. An urban legend unique to the county. The Woman in Profile. A local newspaper printed the first instance of the story in 1961. But unlike other
This is very
campfire
different
tales,
from their usual
the Woman in
videos.
Profile first appeared in a police blotter. Authorities in Lasker City sought a person of interest who may have been the sole witness to the murder of Hannah Birch, a student at Maple Grove University. Witnesses described a woman standing in the courtyard, looking intently into the sky at something. When approached by onlookers, the woman moved away into the shadows, her gaze still fixed upwards. Then she disappeared entirely, without a trace. Since that night, there have been over 24 sightings of a woman who only appears in profile, her face upturned to the sky at twilight. Witnesses say the figure has even tried
It looks like a dog. Oh gosh. That cloud looked like a dog.
Hey. Excuse me.
Ew, she has two heads. Do you see that? She has a face on both sides. Do you see that? Oh hell no, she's gonna be in front of us.
Are you alright?
Ew. Ew. A predator cannot differentiate between prey and accomplice. You would just kill it? Just pull out your Glock and pop one in their head. 17 shots. You know, a couple shots, 17 or 38. Depends. Depends how you're feeling.